Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
All right, it's your favorite time of the week again because we are here for an all-new Vital MX MotoXpod show presented by Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA. Unless you're listening to this in the future, then I guess it's not a new show. But it's currently a new show.
New to them.
Currently, it's a new show. I'm really excited about this one. One of our guests tonight, I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to all of them, really, but one. What's the issue?
We're muted.
Yeah, I know you're muted. I haven't introduced you yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you asked me.
You're still talking.
Unmute me.
Stop talking. One of the guests I'm super excited about, in particular, I think it'll stand out. I'll tell you which one it is here in a little bit. But tonight we have Factory Beta Benny Bloss coming on. It's not him. Just so you know, it's not him. I'm not that excited about Benny. No comments?
I can't. Oh, can I talk now?
You're muted.
Okay.
Jesus, this is such a cluster. Such a cluster.
You've never done that.
Well, the last time I checked the beginning of the show, there was talking going on over the intro. So I started muting the mics because you guys didn't shut up.
Well, you asked me something.
No, I wasn't talking. It wasn't me. It was you.
Oh, I'm talking about tonight.
Yeah, but I meant over the actual music intro.
He's trying to be proper for me.
Yeah.
Jesus, let's get this thing going on. Okay. I'm super excited about one of our guests. Tonight we have Liquid Moly Beta's Benny Bloss. It's not him. We also have Factory HRC's Chance Hymas. Kind of excited about him, but it's not actually him. Maybe you can guess who it is. It's the two-time GNCC and two-time National Hare Scramble champion, Scott Plessinger. Yeah. Aaron's dad's coming on. We've never had him on. I think it's going to be really cool to talk to him, hear about his stories of off-road championships. He runs a couple tracks. They've had some Loretta Lynn's area qualifiers that are apparently doing really well up in Ohio. Just going to have a lot of cool stories, I feel like. And even actually Aaron sent me a story to ask him about. So I'm just super excited about this because we've talked. I mean, look, I love Chance. I love Benny. We've talked to him before, though. We've never had Scott Plessinger on. Mm-hmm. We know how great Aaron is. I just have to imagine Scott's going to even be cooler than Aaron.
I mean, the apple don't fall far, right?
Yeah, usually it doesn't. So I'm super excited.
Royalty.
What's that?
It's motorcycle royalty.
Absolutely. But, all right. So, fun guest. Lots to talk about. Some the normal segments. Before we go any further, though, as you've already heard with the interruptions, as usual, running the cameras, YouTube chat, Scott Thompson. What's up, Scotty?
Oh, just living my best life. That's what I do.
Always in the background, throwing a monkey wrench into the cogs.
Keeping it fresh.
Also, in studio, I think it's the first time.
Yep.
One of my buddies. He runs 710 Designs, so a lot of my photos you see on my Instagram when I'm racing, or if I do my tested features on Instagram, Vital MX, Chase Moore, he's 710 Designs. He takes photos for us. If you're in the area of East Texas and you see him out of the track, anyway, give him a follow. What's up, Chase?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, glad you're in. This should be fun. We are going to get into the Race Tech Open discussion. And as you guys know, Race Tech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company, and they have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Yeah, so for nearly 40 years, Race Tech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with high-quality suspension components made right here in the USA. All you got to do is go to racetech.com. You can find your local service center, get involved, get to know the local service tech. He's probably at your local track racing and riding on the weekends with you. You know, get your suspension serviced. Maybe you need some spring rates changed. They'll take care of you. Racetech.com. You guys want to get into Philly first? A little bit of talk about Philly, and then we'll talk about an event that we all went to this past weekend locally and had some fun. So right off the bat, our last week's guest, Jalek Swoll, crushing it this weekend. Qualified fifth. He won his heat. I believe that was his first heat race win, if I'm not mistaken. Looked really good. Made a move on Chance, Seth Hammaker in the main that would have put him second, I believe, at the time. But Jalek was riding amazing. maybe a little bit bad choice of when he made the move. But, dude, just let's talk about the move. Let's talk about how good he was riding. I'm just really – we talked about it last week when he was on the show. Mm-hmm. His riding has been better than his results, and he's coming around. Like, I think we're going to start seeing podiums really soon, even getting into the outdoors. I was excited for just how he rode. Not bad choice on the jump, though.
Well, how much crap did we give Anderson when he did that to Roxon last year? Because that was pretty much the same move, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was similar. I mean,
he was going for it.
He had the speed. Like, he just forced it in a terrible spot, really.
Well, I don't even think it was a terrible spot. I just think it was he wasn't
close enough.
Another foot or two at least. Seth clearly didn't know. And it's funny enough, I was FaceTiming with Amber this morning, getting her nails done with Heather Kiefer, because Aiden was FaceTiming both of them and then joined me. And Aiden was in the shop, and Jalek came walking up, and I was like, "Why are you trying to kill Seth, man?" And he just started laughing. He's like, "Man, I should have waited." So, anyway, but he's learning, right? He's still young. He's figuring it out. But
I was going to say, first heat win for Triumph. Like, I mean, that's a triumph.
Yeah.
That was big. I was glad to see him. That's like, I mean, always known he can do that. And, he came on the show and then he rode like that. So, yeah, awesome for us.
Yeah, I guess we'll take some credit for that. But Chase, Jalek is definitely, in my opinion, he's going to be better outdoors and indoors, I think, as he develops the bike. And I think I believe we're going to start seeing signs of, I don't know if I want to use the word success, but just what's to come with him. I believe his ceiling is a lot higher than what we've seen. I think we're going to start seeing that in the next few weeks. I really believe it.
I wouldn't say that he's been...
Okay, I'm just asking Chase, but go ahead, man.
I was going to say that he hasn't... I don't think that he's been unsuccessful in his career. That's all I was going to say.
You say that again?
I wouldn't say his career at this point is unsuccessful.
No, but
it hasn't, but he's been...
Yeah,
he's had a bunch of
some
injuries.
podiums and some wins like consistently, and I think
with the move
I think he's getting there.
Right, with the new move to a new bike, even staying similar to last year would have been good. With like a totally new team, totally new bike. So go in there, and I think he's trending up. Like everything's been going better. So
do you think the outdoors right now is pretty stacked. I really think you got to look at Hayden, Levi, RJ, and Vial as the favorites. But do you see Jalek being able to get in there and consistently, not just once or twice, consistently actually battle those guys?
I mean, I don't see why he couldn't. I put him at around the 5th place guy right now. So
yeah, me too. I mean, they're obviously.
5th place,
I think Bennick's going to be good, but again, we don't really know what that bike's going to do outdoors yet. But I think Joey Sabachi's been doing some testing, and
I think it'll be good with Sabachi all the time he's had on the bike.
I think more than anything, Scotty, I just feel like Jalek is coming into his own.
Yeah.
Maturity wise and race wise, he's starting to figure it out. So that's why I have this belief. Not even so much by his results or whatever. Just it's just something about him that I'm seeing the improvements every week.
He looks more confident.
Yeah.
He looks more confident.
So I'm stoked on Jalek. I think it's going to be good. Dude, that 250 main was insane.
Yeah, it was
maybe the best race of the year
for 250s.
Yeah, or just even in general. I mean, there was a lot of battles.
No, there's been some other ones that have been more intense.
That one, I was excited. Yeah,
a couple of the ones were when Jet goes down, or like the couple ones where Chase was battling with.
Well, 250 was.
Oh yeah,
he said in general. I feel like it was still one of the best motos. Yeah, one of the best races.
It was good
of the year. It had to be top 2 or 3 though. It was. I was super excited. I was on the edge of my seat watching Vial and Seth go at it, and then watching Hayden Max. Sorry, Max and Seth go at it, and Vial and Hayden come from the back. It was just hell of a race.
Even though he ended up second, he got second. Even though he got second and didn't win, is that the best performance from Vial that we've seen in his American career?
Maybe not.
Vial's
been
pretty damn good this season. I don't know if I'd say it's the best.
But I mean, he hasn't had to do that.
He didn't make any mistakes. Because if he had, Hayden would have been all over him. So
whatever happened in the beginning, I guess you don't, if you want to call that a mistake.
I mean, once they got rolling, there was he was pretty freaking good. It's got to be top 2 or 3.
Probably the most pressure he's had all season.
Yeah, and just didn't fold, did fine, right?
But he did that overseas too.
Yeah, so. It was very impressive. This showdown coming up, I'm excited about it.
Me too.
Gonna get weird.
I don't know if it's going to get weird. I just hope it's just like I hope it lives up to the talent we're seeing here at the end of the year.
Well,
Levi's got to step up. He's got to win.
The other one got weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In what way?
Pro circuit teammates took each other out.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. Obviously that could happen. The showdown, you never know. But 2 weeks away, Denver's. I'm kind of not that excited about the West Coast race. I feel like it's done.
What do you mean that one's got a tighter championship?
2 points. Kitchen's down 2 points.
I know, but I'm just. I think. I'm sounding like a dick. I think Levi is probably just going to go win the whole thing.
I think he will too.
I think he wins the showdown, and I think he's okay.
I think
he's going to be sore.
I mean, if he wins and RJ gets second, he's still one up, right?
Yeah. I'm struggle with it because I do want RJ to win.
I'd like to see RJ
but
win.
I just think
I do
Levi
really
is
there
this year.
Yeah.
RJ said that he had like the couple races before he was dealing with some stuff and it just didn't go.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have it, and
for some reason, mentally, I feel like Levi's just going to win the showdown.
He's just confident.
Yeah.
Well, what matters more is what happens this weekend first, and then you can.
That's true. That's true. I am kind of jumping a week ahead, I guess.
Yeah, it really just depends on because if he goes in, if they go 1-2 and RJ takes the 1 point lead, then the showdown really has. I mean, they could be in 7th, 8th, 3rd, 4th. It doesn't. I mean, it's whoever wins.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I'm kind of poo-pooing on the East or the West Coast one.
Yeah.
So
watch it be the best race.
yeah. I hope it is. I'm looking forward to watching it from the couch while all the other guys are in Denver watching the Pulp LCQ. Yeah, no, I'm sad. Poor me.
Poor Dark Side.
Before we move on, I want to remind everybody, VitalMX does have a fantasy game that you can sign up for free, and there is a MotoXpod Show League. This last week's winner of the MotoXpod Show League was Hunter413. So I'll be sending you an email pretty soon about your prize. Come join the league, play the game. It's a lot of fun. I did forget to get a team in this week, but I did
the same thing.
It's fun to play. So, and it's free. Busy. And you can hit us up if you have any questions, comments, input. You want to get involved with the different segments like the emails and the X brand, the forum. You can't do that. The
seems like we've been getting more involved. We've been getting better on that.
With the Evans Coolant emails or the Troll Training Top 5 by hitting us up at motoxpodshow@gmail.com. I've got a few emails that we'll get to tonight.
Are you ever going to give Table Jam his socks?
Dude, I keep telling him to hit me up.
It's totally a thing. Like even on Pulp, it's a thing.
Doesn't he live overseas? I know we've had this discussion like so many times.
Yeah. I don't even think he's on right now.
Here's the problem, and it's all on me, but I get so many freaking messages every day about stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll make a note of it. And then I just lose track of it all. I screenshot these messages constantly, and then I bet I have 500 screenshots in my phone of things I'm supposed to do.
Same thing happens to me with photos, man.
And you just run out of time during the day.
I mean, it happens to me.
Tell him to email me right now, motoxpodshow@gmail.com, and I'll figure that crap out. It's like $60 though to send anything over there. Just like flat rate shipping is like $60 freaking dollars.
Yeah, more than the socks.
Way more.
It's ridiculous. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll do our best. Damn it.
Just send him more stuff.
Jam session.
I just call him Table.
Yamaha Motor USA has a reputation for dominance, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha's new 50th anniversary edition YZs pay tribute to a half century of the championship-winning performance wrapped in stunning retro style. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com. That retro style was ripping in the plus 45 class this weekend.
Oh yeah, you left a part out. We're
gonna get to Moto Masters in just a minute. I don't know what I led by a long way.
Okay,
we'll get to Moto Masters in just a minute. You were there. Chase was there. Yeah, we got some stories about that. But before we move to our local race and our table, our stories amongst ourselves, let's talk about Jet winning again. 12 points up over Cooper Webb. I mean, dude, he goes down in the heat race, and just watching him flat track chase around those corners was freaking unreal. Finishes 4th after going down. The championship's over. I hate it, man. I hate it, but it's over.
I had a lot of say about the dude.
I had a lot of thoughts and questions during that. There was a lot of weird stuff going on.
Okay. Well, give me a couple of your thoughts and questions. Do you remember any of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought everybody wants to say that Eli like moved over for Coop. I really think Coop at that point had. I mean, I guess later he said arm
Who
pump.
said he moved over?
Let him by.
Okay.
I would say.
I don't. Yeah, he just didn't put up a fight.
Yeah, I'd say that he didn't close the door. Like that was
no.
Yeah.
But then I guess it turned out to be arm pump because Cooper kind of he ended up losing that pace, and then I felt that Tomac probably could have passed him again, and then he got it. I don't know. That was that whole way the whole thing went down for Star Yamaha was odd. I don't know if there was any team tactics are going on.
I don't think so.
If it kind of messed up their mental.
I would say there's no way there was a discussion beforehand.
No.
My guess would be Eli, since Cooper had a better pace at that time, had the pass pretty well made, and he was just like, all right, I'm not going to fight this right now.
Jet and Coop aren't close enough in points for there to be any team.
No, I think in that moment he
just
knew,
looked
like,
weird.
Yeah, I don't think there's any big deal. Is that your only question? Because you said you had questions, but
I guess that was it.
Okay, perfect. All right,
a couple questions in there.
Yeah. Local series we have here called Moto Masters. It's a vet series. The three of us were all there for this thing. Our friends April and Cole Johnson own the series from Johnsonville MX. It was at a local or a private track called Billadilla that I probably have talked about on here before. First time they've ever had a race at this place. It's an amazing facility, especially for a private track. It's like a little mini Millville in East Texas. Incredible dirt. First race, like I said, they've ever had.
Does that really feel like Millville? Because I never rode Millville.
I mean, it's really good dirt, sandy, loamy dirt, and then you had the uphills, which aren't as big as Millville, but for us, that's quite a bit of elevation.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would compare it to a mini Millville.
I think Biden said it was
Matt Biden, not Joe Biden.
No, yeah, not Joe Biden. I think he said it was similar to like Bud's and Southwick because the track.
There was definitely some deep sand in some spots.
The front part versus the rear. It's two different tracks.
Right. Well, anyway, so we go down there, and hell of a weekend, right? I raced the plus 40 and plus 45 CD.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. That's the part you left out.
No, well, there's nothing to leave out. I've always ran the novice class. TJ and I've had a bunch of arguments. I did move up once last year when I was riding the best I ever had on the Husky. Then I switched to the Kawasaki, and I was like, oh, wait, I'm not as good as I thought I was. I'm getting destroyed. So I went ahead and moved back to my comfortable spot in the novice and ran my mid-pack area, or, top 5, 6, and that's where I was this weekend. I mean, I don't know why that, like, you made that sound out like you're making it like I was trying to hide something.
No. Well, you leave out you're like, oh, yeah, I did good in my races, my 45 plus or whatever.
I did with guys in my skill group, screw, I thought. But
it was weird, the difference between the 40 and the 45.
Yamaha was amazing. I'm finally starting to get really comfortable on that thing. But yeah, plus 40 class for me, horrible start, very short start, had a very horrible jump out of the gate. In the first moto, was probably 8th or 9th in the first corner, finished 3rd.
Yes.
And then Moto 2 in that class, a little bit better start, finished 2nd. Me and Jason Cheek, one of our local guys, had a really fun battle. We were just kind of all over each other the whole moto. I went 3-2 for 2nd, plus 45 class. First moto, 180-degree turn out of the left-hander, over table, up a step up, and our buddy Shane Huff and Jason Cheek collide in the air.
That almost happened to me too. My butthole puckered so bad.
Well, so Shane goes down, and he's ragdolling, and it looks like he's unconscious as I'm in the air, and he's right in front of me. So I locked it up, and I just immediately jumped off the bike and checked on the guy, and got back on the bike after we got him awake and helmet off. Missed the entire halfway through the first lap before I took off, and I ended up 6th out of 10 or so.
Yeah, you came back and made a few passes.
I passed like 4 guys.
I didn't. You came around and you saw me with my hands up.
Like what happened? Yeah,
you weren't dirty, so I was like, I don't know what happened.
I thought Shane, he was night, so I was more worried about that.
No, for sure.
But then the second moto, pretty good start, and then passed 3 guys maybe or whatever, and then went and just ran off and won the thing. And
sounds like
told April, don't let me run the CD anymore.
Yeah,
just don't let
I was about to say, it sounds like an intermediate rider.
Yeah, it's time to move up because I am feeling good on the Yamaha. How'd you do, Scott?
I rode.
But you know what? The shorter story. How'd you do, Chase?
I did pretty good. You know, ran around, shot some video for Emig.
Well, you know, I mean, you lined up for practice.
I did. And I did a half
I don't
lap.
think you finished practice.
I did a half lap and was thrown up in the helmet. So
Gross.
We packed it in for the day and shot shot pictures the rest of the day.
He said, "I'm not wearing a puke helmet, bro."
I felt fine after.
Why did you throw up in your helmet?
I slept 4 hours. I took like one of the little energy supplements from the gas station, and it jacked my stomach up. And
maybe.
Yeah, we just called it for the day and took some pictures.
Not a good review on the gas station.
No, yeah.
Energy pills.
710 Designs. It's the word 7, the number 10 Designs on Instagram.
His pictures were incredible.
They're all right.
You got good ones. I mean, the ones he got to me, he made, even slow as I was going, it still made me look
The
okay.
ones I use on Vital and I post on Instagram, people are like, dude, you're ripping. No way Steve's got anything for you. I'm like, it's a photo, bro. He got lucky.
Yeah.
There just happened to be a moment where my body was in the right position as it was moving to the wrong position.
Well, because he can snap like 40 of them in one sequence. So he's like, okay, all right, there he goes.
You have no idea what he threw away.
Yeah.
I don't post the bad ones.
Scale like, okay, elbows down. Okay, they're up. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
But anyway, he does make us look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your race, Scotty?
I rode. I'm obviously we know that I didn't have a bike forever. That's
what I hear.
That was the only second time I rode.
Why
had a bike.
Why did you not have a bike?
You had
running?
a bike.
What happened?
Yeah, a long story. So that was actually the second time I've even rode moto since I've gotten the bike rebuilt. The other ones I've been riding trails.
Yeah.
So I was definitely out of shape, and but I rode B class and took my licks, and we'll be better for the next time. So the first race I did 25B and 30B, and the first race I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get a start, or just try to get a good start and see what happens. And like I jumped out of the gate, and then I looked to the left and right, and there was nobody there. And I was like, oh, so I ended up was second on about halfway through the first lap. Then I got past, and then I held on to third for over the end of the towards the end of the first lap, and then I battled for. Then I was in held on to fourth for a while. And then the fifth place guy got me, and my arms blew up so bad. Like I was so out of shape. I was gasping for air, and not gasping for air. I just didn't have any strength. So
I could see the arm pump from the side.
Yeah,
of the track.
dude. Well, I had bark busters on because I was originally going to do
TJ's.
I was going to do
specials.
TCCRA, and I realized that takes a lot of flex out the bars when you're going, especially up those redheaded hills that he called. Those things are steep. I jumped over all of them, like all the way down them the couple times. Dude, it was I couldn't hold on. To jump it all the way, you have to hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I had fun. I had no business doing 2 classes, and I did it anyways because
It was pretty entertaining seeing how wore out you were.
Yeah.
You got
You're
to
just
for that
you're
place.
a child. You're a baby. I don't understand why you're so tired, man. I'm 50 years
I
old.
just haven't.
almost.
Yeah, I just haven't been doing it.
Yeah, I actually was pretty stoked because I was seeing that I was getting back in shape, and I talked about the arm pump I had at 3 Palms for the qualifier, and that was pretty much gone. I felt like I was riding really good.
Yeah, no, you look a lot better. You're starting to look a lot better on the Yamaha versus the Cali. For sure.
The Cali I couldn't figure out. The Yamaha, I'm really getting happy with it, and
looking
forward to it. Looking forward to regionals.
You see better starts.
What's that?
You need better starts.
Dude, that start was trippy because it had the little hole after the gate.
It was like.
Yeah,
100
every
yards
time
long,
I'd drop the clutch, and the bike would drop in that hole, and I'd be like, I'd kind of panic. And also, the moto before my very first race, the gate malfunctioned, and that was in my head every time. Like, oh shit, is it gonna not drop? And I'm gonna T-bone the thing with.
I think that was the only time it did it all day. Too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just an excuse. You are right. I do need better starts.
Well, you would get into the first corner okay.
Yeah.
And then you'd kind of
hesitate.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, I was like, there's guys like, okay, one of my starts, I went all the way to the right to the outside. I'm just going to try to sweep over. And I did.
Yeah,
I
mean,
had the line,
happened to me.
but the guy on the inside I looked over to the left, like he's not shutting off.
Yeah.
So
it's
I checked up. I was like, I don't really care to get the start that bad.
With how short that start was, like there was no separation when you go on the first turn.
I was just trying to get through it alive and then ride.
For all of those that don't, all of those of y'all that do not have a visual, it was a 40 gate start, and it went like maybe 60 yards, 70 yards.
Yeah, it was definitely.
And then it was
short.
downhill into a flat dry corner.
A flat left.
Yeah,
That's
180.
not even really made to be a 180, but it was being used
Like I
as
said,
a 180.
it is technically a private track
Yeah.
with about 2 minute lap times.
I mean, they did great for what they
for what
had.
they had,
it was
yeah,
great.
for sure.
But that first corner was nuts.
If you guys are come into the East Texas area, or even if you just want to check it out, go to Billa Dilla. It's BILLADILLA MX, I think it is, or something. It'll come up on
I got
Instagram.
a hot,
Billy Stevens.
Facebook.
Billy Stevens.
Yeah.
I've got a hot take.
Okay.
Emig is fast.
Oh yeah, Jeff
That
Emig
is
was
a hot
there. Matt Byton was there.
Yeah.
Jeff has become friends with the owner Billy and has been out there a few times. So he came out to race.
He was.
He'll be on the
ripping
show
and-
in a few weeks. By the way, we had a nice long discussion, and he's coming on. He's coming on the show for the first time. But yeah, he rips.
Taryn
And he told me he's
O'Dell.
only rode that bike, that 350, a couple times. So he's trying to get used to it.
Taryn O'Dell was ripping too.
Yeah.
He was.
Good times, guys. I don't know how interesting our local race talk is, but we had fun. We're excited. That may or may not be one of my highs, my ProX highs, getting to race. I plan on racing this weekend at Swan. So if you guys are in the general area,
you're gonna be. I was thinking about doing the day practice.
I'll probably do that too. I don't have anything else to do really.
I think we're getting 2.5 inches of rain on Thursday. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, then they better start prepping.
Keep an eye on that.
Well, as of now, I want to go race. Okay, a few more minutes before we get Scott Plessinger on. How about going back to Philly? Hunter's almost annihilation of Justin Barsha.
Dude.
That was pure whiskey, feet off the pegs.
He's lucky.
He never
didn't put
even
him-
touched him though.
No, he didn't.
No, but it was awesome. I was like, oh God. Like I grabbed my hands went to my head like, oh shoot.
I thought they were both going over the tough
Yeah,
blocks.
and apparently this Mathis, I think, said this on the review show because he was there watching, that he was kind of watching to see if they were going to get into it afterwards. And that he talked to Hunter, I think, and Hunter's like, yeah. Justin said, yeah, man, that was cool.
Yeah, I mean that's funny about Barsha is like, I think he almost he's cool if you do it to him sometimes. He knows he's like, that's just good racing, like.
But he has to lean into it. You can't.
Yeah,
You can't get
can't-
mad when
yeah.
you're the one that's doing it.
And I think Barsha could see Hunter's leg like flailing all over the place.
Oh, I'm sure he heard the bike.
Yeah,
He
he
definitely heard that bike.
Yeah,
he
that was not ideal.
He knew Hunter was coming in a little out of control, I think, but it was pretty exciting.
That's kind of what happens when you got 9 whoops into a flat corner.
Flat corner, sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into our first guest of the night. He's gonna be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget, they have complete seats for the Talaria and the Super 73 and covers for the Suron and Segway. They strive to ship orders within 36 hours, so visit gutsracing.com. Let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us two-time GNCC champion and two-time Hare Scrambles champion, Scott Plessinger. What's up, Scott?
Oh, not much. Just chilling here, tough.
Well, it's nice to finally get a chance to introduce ourselves to you. We've talked to your son many, many times, but really, really excited to get you on the phone.
That's good. Yeah, I don't do too many of these. So.
Okay. All right.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. I really wanted, like I said, man, I'm sure you have a lot of great stories. And we had a listener reach out, Travis McQueens, who said, man, that we should get you on because you run East Fork MX and you've had a lot of success with some local racing series you got going on. So, yeah, let's just start, though, with your career, man. When you look back at what you did off-road wise, I mean, you're a legend of the sport. Do you see yourself that way? How do you feel about your career when you look back on it?
I mean, I think I could have done better.
Okay.
I mean, I had a good career. I won my first championship in '89.
Yeah.
So it come pretty quick, actually, because I didn't start racing till I was 15, and I won my first championship when I was 20.
Wow. That's insane. Like that, that it happened that fast that you're just one of those guys, I guess, gifted on a motorcycle. When did you first start riding dirt bikes? Did you always rode?
Not really. I mean, I rode, my older brothers raced a little bit here and there, nothing. They just raced local stuff and rode trails and stuff here and there. But I kind of fiddled around with stuff and just had old junk bikes and didn't get a new bike until I turned 15, and I got an RM80. Yeah, it was a 1982 RM80, and didn't. It was kind of too big for it, really.
Really? Yeah, I guess so. At 15, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So what you're
15,
saying is Aaron was spoiled.
yeah, exactly.
So,
but yeah, it just I kind of did the moto thing for a little bit, and my brother's father-in-law took me to a woods race one day, and it was actually 100-miler, and it was a true 100-miler.
Jeez.
And because I rode a lot, I just didn't race. So, heck, we started at 11. I think I got done at 6.
Good.
And
Wow.
I just kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah. So did you enjoy motocross up until that point, and then you discovered off road?
I did. Yeah. I did just the local stuff. I wasn't no. I mean, I finished in top 5 at the local in the 85 class. So it wasn't like I was a speed demon, but it just kind of clicked whenever I hit the woods, and I ended up winning that weekend. And heck, from there on out, it was wide open.
That was it. I love it though. That's great. I mean, that's a good story. Like, it's a passion for two wheels. It's hard to not have it once you try it. It's just like it's in us all, so we understand.
Yeah, I mean it's an addicting sport.
Yes,
and once you fall into it, it's like you don't want to leave it.
Clearly you still haven't. I mean, you're running 2 tracks, and
you don't run away. You don't.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it, and it's just I don't know. I enjoy watching Aaron with his success, which I never dreamed he would make it this far. I mean, I thought he would do well, but not as far as he's taken it. So,
hey,
I think it just.
I'm sorry, Scott. Staying on your career for a second, when you guys were that era, it was 2 strokes, and then you had an air-cooled XR 4-stroke, and that was pretty much the only choices. It seems nowadays, although most of the guys do 450s, and I think some of them do 350s now, a 2-stroke is good in the woods. A 250F is good in the woods. A 450, a 300, they have all different options. You guys didn't have that. Kind of compare what it's like now and what you would choose to ride now if you'd had that choice in your career.
Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't know any better. So, the 2-stroke thing was pretty much what I had. I mean, I did ride Scott Summers' XR 600 once, and I was pretty amazed how good that bike worked. I mean, it was a heavy bike, but it was just it would just go wherever you wanted it to, like straight. If you wanted to go over roots, rocks, whatever, that thing was like sitting on your couch riding around. It was that good,
that comfortable,
and that's where the 2-stroke, just the weight of it and just the power. Where a 2-stroke, it's lighter and just the power delivery is just a lot harder. So yeah, it just he definitely had an advantage when it come to hard pack, rocky, Rudy. But when it came to mud, he might as well just go home.
So that was your jam, as they say.
That was my forte in the mud. I just liked the riding. I mean, I rode a lot when I did, and I had my days that I rode, and it didn't. If it was pouring down rain, that's the day I rode. So
all right,
I'd go out and do my motos, and it didn't matter if I was riding in 2-foot deep creeks. It didn't matter. I still done it, and it just I enjoyed riding in it, so it paid off whenever we had mud races, and we had a lot of them. So it was
clearly that paid off. That's awesome.
Scott, it's just what you get adapted to. I mean, I think Aaron had that kind of. I mean, I think he was a better mud rider back then when he was like coming in the 250s, because he was coming off the GNCC stuff. Mm-hmm. He was a better mud rider than he is now.
Yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot of motos in the mud.
Well, they don't ride in the mud. So,
right.
Yeah. If it's raining, we can't ride.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So Scott, what was the training like back in the late 80s, early 90s? Was it just riding, or
I trained like an animal?
Really?
I think me and Summers probably trained the hardest out of everybody. I mean, I was running 25, 30 miles a week plus mountain biking. I did it every day.
Oh, so you are a little ahead of the curve then.
yeah, no, I was actually, Jeff Stanton was kind of back then. So I was kind of just like, he put out a thing one time, what he did and stuff, and he did a lot of running and stuff.
Yep.
Like that.
Right. Yeah. He modeled it after what he was doing. Yeah. That was actually, that was kind of new, not new, but he was one of the first guys where you really started hearing about the training and I think that's how Jeff won a lot of his races was not so much on talent, but more on, his strength and conditioning maybe.
I just assumed at the time it was just a whole lot of woods riding.
Probably
no, I didn't ride that. I mean, once I started doing good, I didn't ride that much. I rode 2 days a week. And I had my plan. I had my 45-minute moto in the woods, and then I had my 20-minute moto on the motocross track afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So
that was pretty much I did that couple. Once I started riding moto, my speed picked up so much.
Oh, I bet.
Like once I built a motocross track at my house in it was late '93, and that next year I won the GNCC titles back to back.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know, it just helped a little bit. And that's what all the guys are doing now. They don't, half of them don't even ride woods. They live on a motocross track.
Yeah. Yeah. We've heard that talking to some of those guys. And just so you know, generally this show is very heavy motocross, supercross, but over the last year and a half, I started doing a few GNCCs and fallen in love with the off-road scene. So we're starting to have more guys on about that. And speaking of that, I only know of the off-road scene in the GNCC series, as I said, for the last couple of years. And it's insane when you go to one of these events, how many people are there, how many families are there, how open everybody is. How different is it now from your day?
It was the same. We were friends pretty much with, I mean, all of us. Yeah. I think the only two guys that weren't friends were like Fred Andrews and Scott Summers.
Okay. Yeah.
They just, I don't know. They just didn't get along. They just, I don't know. Seemed like every time they were on the track, they were hitting each other. But no, we were friends off the track, but when it came to racing, we had some knockdown dragouts. I mean, me and Rodney Smith had them. And I remember, me and Scott Summers, we went across the finish line at Brownsville, Pennsylvania. It was on ESPN actually, and just cartwheeling across the finish line.
Oh wow!
That may be go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we had some. I mean, there were some good times. I mean, when we were racing, it was. I mean, you wouldn't just clean somebody out, but
right.
I mean, you did what you needed to do to get around them or whatever. And in the woods racing, there's not a lot of room, so you got to manage where you're going to pass people. Yeah,
you have to take a shot when it's there. That Brownsville race you just mentioned, I wonder if that's the one. Aaron texted me and said to ask you about a race at Brownsville in the mud when they shortened it halfway. Was that the same day?
Yeah, So I had a 2-minute lead.
Okay.
And I broke my shifter off. Ooh. And I had to ride the whole lap in second gear. And the problem was my pit crew, they knew that I lost the shifter. So they took the shifter off my one bike. I had 2 bikes in the truck. Took off the one bike and went to try to find me. Well, they cut that portion of the track out.
Oh, no.
So I missed them. So I come into pits and I have no pit crew.
Oh, geez.
So I had to climb in my box in, take the shifter off, put the shifter back on. And when I got it back on, I took off, and Summers had just passed me, right? He had just passed me right when I took off. So I was fine with it. And I just kind of, I know I'm faster than he is. I'm just going to try and cruise behind him. So there was only 2 laps to go, which I didn't know that. So nobody knew it. So on the last lap, they didn't even throw a white flag. Davey Coombs was out on the track, and somehow Scott Summers' mechanic knew that the white flag had come, or they were stopping at this lap.
Mm-hmm.
So he told Scott that it was the last lap. And I come around, it was like 2 miles from the finish, and Scott probably had about 20-second lead on me, and Davey Coombs was screaming at me, "It's the last lap." And I just went ballistic. and it was muddy. I mean, it was it was probably the worst race I ever ridden. Like the ruts, you couldn't ride in the ruts. You had to crisscross. Like there was bikes just buried to handlebars everywhere.
Yeah, that'd have been me.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was bad. The hills. I mean, in Pennsylvania, it's just nothing but hills. So it just every hill was horrible, just scattered with bikes and everything. So, but we come to the motocross track, and I just said I got to go, and we come to the finish line, and he probably had about 30 or 40 yards on me coming in coming out of the last corner, going to the finish line, and I just never let off, and we collided together right before we went across the finish. They had a video to see who won. He won by half a bike. It wasn't even like his wheel went across the finish line before. I think my body went across the finish line before my bike.
Did you say that was on video?
He said he has the video.
It was it's on Moto World.
It's
on Moto World.
Definitely gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna look that up after this
for sure. Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah, it was gnarly. And then me and Rodney Smith did the same thing at Loretta's. I think in '94. Yeah, I thought I had to race one, and he came out of nowhere and just clocked me. And it was, but he ended up winning. I couldn't get my bike started. So we both went down.
Dude, off-road racing. Yeah. I want to ask you a question because you were talking about, I asked you about the GNCC series and you told us how it was. Yeah, but you also grew up with Aaron racing motocross. Did you see a significant difference between just the way a motocross race was ran and the entrant, the competitors versus off-road?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, because we were doing both. I don't know, just the GNCC stuff was just so laid back. Just everything, like moto stuff was so like secret. Like nobody talked to each other hardly.
Right.
I mean, everybody's dads were just stuck up. And it's the way it was in motocross, but the GNCC stuff wasn't like that. But it was definitely different.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I like off-road stuff so much. Go ahead, Scotty. Sorry.
But
oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, wait, I'm Scotty too. My middle name, I go by my middle name Scott, which is kind of, I know Aaron's middle name's Scott.
Your name's
too.
Scotty Scott?
No, calm down.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Anyway, go ahead.
Scott. So that kind of leads into what I was going to mention with Aaron is that he's become one of the biggest personalities in sport. Fans love him. I had a friend that never had been to a race before, and he immediately was drawn to Aaron. That was his guy, and it still is.
My dad's guy.
It sounds like a lot of that was attributed to the more laid back and the mindset of the GNCC racing. And we don't see this side of much of him as a dad, but I'm sure he's a great dad, and he's somebody that I look up to in the sport, and one of my biggest. I'm a biggest fan of him, and I just wanted to see what you thought about how his whole career's gone and how he is as a father, and just kind of talk about how proud of him are you.
What if he's not proud of him?
I think he is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, he's I think us doing the both, I think it definitely helped his like attitude, maturity, and everything. Because he's a goofball sometimes, especially when he was younger. He was a total goofball. I'd get so mad at him sometimes. He'd be sitting there on the starting line with just making stupid faces, just not being serious or nothing. But that's just how he was. He just took stuff. I mean, he didn't really take getting beat like really bad. Like he wouldn't, like you wouldn't even, if he got beat, he'd just shrug it off and go. Didn't even know it 15 minutes after the race. But he wouldn't say much about it. But he's definitely grew a huge following, and I think a lot of definitely came from that being more family oriented in the off road stuff. because it's definitely. I mean, you've been to them. It's a lot. Just everybody talks to everybody. Everybody's super friendly.
Yeah, I like how much like the competitors actually help each other. I've seen.
Oh yeah,
I've seen.
Oh well, you go to Shoals down where Baylor and that hell. Half the damn GNCC guys they're riding together.
Yeah. I've seen team members like mechanics and team members help another team.
Oh
you know,
yeah,
it's amazing, and like I like that stuff. I like the camaraderie, and it's just we're out here to compete, but we're also out here to have a good time. It's something we like. So I think it's great.
Well, I mean, you're not making. I mean, those guys don't. I didn't make hardly no money.
Right.
I mean, not what Aaron's making. Hell, Aaron makes more a week than I made in a year. So, and the same way with all these other guys. I mean, you gotta enjoy it because you're not making. I mean, Caleb's probably the only one that's made a good living out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
The rest of them are just. I mean, nowadays is not a lot of money.
Right. Scott Plessinger tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. I want to talk to you. Well, we've got a little bit more off-road stuff. Did you ever you did do the Blackwater 100 once or twice, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it several times.
Okay.
Never, best I was doing was third, and bike drowned it out 3 miles from the finish. Yeah, I just never, I mean, it wasn't a mud race, so it was slippery, rocky, just, yeah. And the one year I did ride it, 87, that was before they took all the mud plugs and everything out. 87, it was pretty gnarly because you just went across these silt beds and you had no idea what was underneath the ground. Like you would just there'd be rocks under the silt. Like you never knew what was under stumps, whatever, but you had to go wide open through the stuff to even make it. But after that, whatever they're called, I can't remember what they're called, starting to get on them about tearing up the property and everything. So they just started staying on all the rocky roads and everything after that. So it just kind of went downhill after that.
Yeah, it wasn't really what it used to be. I get that.
Back in the early, like actually back in the 80s, and it was gnarly, like really gnarly.
Yeah,
87 was probably the last worst, the really bad year.
I definitely remember seeing it in like Cycle News and stuff, being like, well, I don't want anything to do with that. That doesn't look fun at all.
Yeah, I don't think I enjoyed it at all. Anyway. That's probably one of the worst races that I ever done.
Okay. Well, one of the reasons I brought it up is I wanted to know if there was a bucket list race that you eventually got to do or something that you always wanted to do that maybe you did not get to do.
Not really. I did want to do the, it was Laughlin, Nevada. I can't remember the name of the race. I always wanted to do it. Actually, I was supposed to do it the one year, and I ended up getting hurt. I can't. It was a hair scramble out there.
Okay.
But yeah, that was on, and then they done away with it. It's kind of, I think they eliminated it that year or so after that. But it was Ty Davis and all them ran it.
Yeah.
It just looked like it was more of a technical West Coast race.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I would have done a little better.
I'm going to try to do, I want to do a works race. I want to do a West Coast. I'm really, really bad in the desert. I'm not very good anywhere, but I'm really bad in the desert.
Yeah.
But I want to do it anyway. I want to experience it. So yeah, that's a goal of mine in the next year or two, is to do a works or something on the West Coast.
I'd do that. I had a lot of fun at Keeper's.
They're definitely different races out there. I mean, I was more of a technical rider for sure, like the mud and the roots and stuff like that. But
yeah.
The race that I won that probably I'll always remember was the one in Idaho, the Ketchum, Idaho. It was, I can't get the name, Sun Valley.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I won that one that year, and it was wide open, like fast. I beat Ron Naylor and some of the other really good guys that run West Coast stuff. That one kind of stood out.
That's cool. Yeah. Pretty good.
Hey, Scott,
but then I went back to next year, and I hit next year. I went back to it, and things didn't go so well. I hit a rock going probably fourth or fifth gear, and it tore down about 100 yards of fence, and just ended up breaking my shoulder, both ankles. Yeah, just all kinds of good stuff.
The life of a
and
motorcycle racer.
I was leading the championship too. So I threw away a lot of championships. I could have probably won about 4 more if I wouldn't had some incidents.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that the story of a lot of racers, though, right? I mean,
yeah, it's injuries. I mean, it'll do them to you. I lost one. I lost 95. I won the GNCC that year, and I lost the National Hair Scramble Championship by 1 point. That one hurt. Yeah.
I bet 1 point. Yeah. Yikes.
1 point.
Oh,
yeah. And it went down to the last race, and I didn't like the place. It was at Seattle International Speedway. So we were running on the asphalt, just all kinds of.
That's weird.
It just wasn't my forte.
yeah, that's a little strange. That's
Lance Mail, I think, runs some stuff up there.
okay.
He's got a motocross track or something up there. But yeah, they still have like local hair scrambles there. But yeah, it was definitely not because I won the weekend before, and that tied us in points, me and Summers, going into the last round. So it was whoever won. And actually, Rodney Smith got in between us.
Thanks a lot, Rodney.
But, yeah. Well, he was mad because I took him out of the championship the weekend before. So.
Yeah, I think Rodney works for Beta now. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does.
Yep. I talked to him not that long ago. Yeah. Go ahead, Scotty.
I was gonna. You were talking about doing one of the longer races earlier, and it made me think what did you guys? It might sound dumb. Did you guys have like a version of camelbacks, or like did you guys just not? About to say you're just like
I didn't know. I didn't think. Yeah, I don't think I wore a drink bottle. Really, probably till the later '80s. Or yeah, actually, I Link. There was a company called Link, and they made it was just a plastic bottle you put on your back. They were the first one to come out with one, and yeah, it was just a plastic bottle with the hose, and it worked okay. It would get a siphoning thing going, and it would end up running all the water out of it.
Yeah, we're all soft now with our futuristic water systems.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, that was just I just thought of that. Go ahead.
Okay. So I want to ask you about your tracks that you run. Again, I heard East Fork has been doing really well, and you just had recently had a Loretta Lynn's area qualifier. From what I understand, a big turnout up in Ohio in the series you guys are working with, MERP series, I believe. Talk about just being a track owner and trying to navigate the waters of doing that.
Well, so I had my dealership. I started my dealership in '96 before I quit racing. I had a KTM dealership. I had it for 14 years, and we played with a little bit of racing locally. We do a couple of year, just locally at certain. Actually, there wasn't even tracks. I went and built one track, and then the other one was just a Jeep place where it was all sand. So kind of played with that a little bit. And then I think in 2010, I bought Paradise MX Park down in Georgia.
Okay.
And that was probably my first real, try to push towards racing. But for some reason, it did not go well down there. Our turnouts were horrible, just everything. I had it for 5 years, and that took me to 2015. I moved. I never did permanently move there. That's where I trained Aaron for until he went to Matt Walker's.
Mm-hmm.
So then I came back up here, and a couple of my buddies talked me into renting what is now called East Fork, and it just the first race I put on, we had 300 and some entries.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, that was the first. Yeah, the first. And the first practice we had, I think we had 181 the Saturday and 210 on Sunday. So that just blew me away. And then we just kind of played with racing a little bit. And then in 2017, I started the Buckeye Series again because it kind of folded. Racing had totally just died off. The district fell apart here. Everything was gone. And so I started the Buckeye Series, and it just I don't know, it just took off. And I think the last 3 years, I usually run about a 14 race series, and our numbers were right in between about 7,000 to 8,000 entries each year. So it's definitely gotten big. But yeah, we actually had one of the bigger, I think Lincoln Trail ended up beating us this year, but in 2021, we had the biggest area qualifier that had ever been.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Lincoln Trail, I think they this year, but yeah, it's good to have something like that. And I got promoter of the year in 2021 also, so that was pretty cool, and got inducted to the Hall of Fame that same year. But yeah, it was. So I got Chillytown as well.
Yep.
And that one actually draws more people than East Fork does.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it does. Brad, I don't know if you're familiar with him from 402 MX. He builds all the tracks down south in Florida. He built Stars track. He's built a bunch of tracks, but he come up a couple of years ago, and we put a Supercross track in at Chillytown and redone the whole motocross track, and then we come back over to East Fork and build a track there. We spent 2 months building tracks. So.
Well, it sounds like the scene's pretty strong up there, though. Everything I hear
it's like, I mean, we had the area qualifier. We had a little over 1,000 entries last week.
It's amazing.
That's good.
That's it's strong, and really our local racing, we're usually 500 to 600.
Wow.
On the weekend.
Yeah.
So.
I've noticed that
in our area. Better than our area.
Well, I've noticed a lot in our area. Like I go to one of the cross country associations, the Northeast Texas area, and it has 500 to 600 entries for the big bikes, and then another 100, 200 for the kids, and it's definitely bigger than the moto thing for sure. Like I had 40 people in my class in the TCRA, and then this weekend we raced, and I had 6 in one and 9 in the other in moto.
Moto,
I think a lot of the COVID bikes they got bought, that's what they're doing.
Trails,
riding trails and racing trails.
Yeah.
Talking about Ohio motocross tracks, do you have any good Kenworthy stories?
You know what? I only raced there once.
Really?
And that was in 1992. Yep. I think it was just a local race.
That was always one of my favorite tracks to watch
that track was gnarly.
Yeah, I didn't want to race it, but I always liked watching it as a kid.
Back then, I mean, once I quit, I still ran some local moto stuff, but I just didn't ride that much once I started getting pretty deep into the wood stuff. So,
right.
Until I built a motocross track, then I think I would have done a lot better at Kenworthy's if I'd have been riding moto, but some of those jumps were just gnarly.
Yeah.
The Widowmaker, I didn't want to have anything to do with that. I've seen too many people break their legs on the damn landing. That thing was so just sketchy.
It had a good name, the Widowmaker. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. The local guys killed it there, like Chuck Reed and Brad Strunk, all them guys. Mark Musselman, they'd go to the national there, and they just couldn't. Their conditioning would kick their butt, but for some laps, they would. I think Chuck Reed led the thing for a while, and Mark Musselman led it for a while. It was pretty good.
Awesome.
But yeah, that was I'd love to have the place. It's still there.
Is it?
Yeah, they haven't touched it.
Really?
Everything's still there. It's just all growing up.
Yeah.
If it came back, I'd make the trip for sure.
I want to make the trip up to
if you opened that place up, you would. I don't even know how many you could. It'd be so many people there that you couldn't control.
I believe it.
Everybody around here just begs for the place to be open, but they won't do it. Actually, Don Kenworthy, he's come to some of my races. He was the one that ran the thing.
Right. Scott, I got a couple more for you real quick and we'll let you go. I work for Vital MX and we have a forum where people can ask questions and let's see here. They have username. So Boxcar Willie wants to know, and we've kind of talked about this, but did you ever have any interest in racing motocross during your prime? Did you ever consider doing a national or anything like that?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah. Once I got full into it, there was times, actually, Mike Guerra, because I passed Fred Andrews at Mountain Morris or at High Point on the motocross track. And he come up to me and asked me, he goes, you might ought to think about coming up here and racing when they have the national here. Because Fred was top 15 in the motocross stuff. So,
yeah. But no,
I think I passed through the downhill rollers.
That's great. All right, last one. This guy's username I can't even pronounce. It's a long username, but he just says to tell you thank you for all you're doing for Ohio motocross and mini supercross. One of your, I guess somebody that patrons your tracks says thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and we got a big following. It's good. It's great to it's cool at night to drive around and see all the people congregating, and all the campers. We were packed so full last week at the qualifiers. There was no room to park anywhere.
We'll have to make a trip
so
up there.
It was good. I just actually posted a picture on my Facebook page of an aerial shot of it. It was pretty cool.
Oh, I'll have to go check that out. But I would love to make the trip up there at some point. We'll have to see if we can get that done. Come up. Love I've never rode in Ohio anyway, so it'd be cool to come to your place and hang out and get to meet you face to face.
Heck yeah, definitely. Well, glad to have you.
Yeah. Well, Scott, thank you for your time. I will tell you, like I don't know if you heard me say it. My dad's favorite rider is Aaron. He always texts me. And one of my best friends, Eric Radford, is actually, I don't know if you saw it, but at Anaheim 1, he got to hold Aaron's cowboy hat for the intro.
Cool. Yeah.
And he's a big cowboy from this area, but he made the trip to A1 as a surprise from his wife, and Aaron is his favorite rider. So and actually Aaron gave me one of his jerseys in Nashville to give to Eric. So I guess my point of all this is your son you did a great job, man. He is one of the coolest, nicest people in the pits. He takes time for everybody. Yeah. You did a good job, man. He's a really, really good human being.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yep. Well, thank you for your time. It was a real honor to talk to you, and I hope to get to meet you in person soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, sir. You have a good night, Scott.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. That's Scott Plessinger, brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Yeah, legend, man.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah.
Sounded like Aaron.
Yeah, there was what's the word? Like, there's not enunciations, but certain afflicts, or that's not
inflections.
Like whatever the word is, I can't figure out right now. There were things he was doing that I was like, oh, that's how Aaron talks.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
I wonder where he got that from.
Yeah. No doubt. So Scott Plessinger, man, East Fork MX and Chilitown MX, pretty cool.
Chilitown, that's cool.
Chilitown, yeah,
that sounds
makes
awesome.
me want to go.
Yeah, makes me want to.
I've driven right by that track.
Have you?
Yep.
Oh, that was fun, man. He was a legend of off-road, so really glad that we got a chance to talk to him. Let's jump into the X-Brand Forum Check-In. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, 2023 National Hare and Hound XC1 champion Dalton Shurey, 2023 AMA National Enduro champion Grant Baylor. Lyndon Snodgrass uses them. Motocross, Supercross, and Arena Cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, and many more. Trust X-Brand. So visit EKSbrand.com or go to your local dealership. Don't forget that Hunter Lawrence did win a championship in a set of Lucids with some Alpine Star straps, but they're really, really good goggles. So go ask for them at your local dealership. Try them on. Hit me up at Darkside MX3 at AOL if you want. If you want to buy them from me, I have some in stock, but I'd really rather you just go to your local dealership and ask for them so that the reps can, that helps the reps out, the WPS reps. Anyway, xbrand.com. Let's see here. The X-Brand Forum Check-In. The title of this X-Brand Forum Check-In is has a bike ever made you want to give up riding? This is posted by, is this you? Scott_K2003. He says, have you ever owned a bike that has made you seriously consider giving up riding? Maybe because you did not gel with the bike, the ergonomics, the suspension power, whatever the case. It just kind of sucked the fun out of riding to the point you were left questioning why you were even doing it anymore. He goes on to say why, but let's just pose the question to the table here. Chase, you ever had one that just made you say, I'm done?
I've never owned one that did.
Yep.
But every Honda 450 I've gotten on has made me think that I cannot ride a dirt bike anymore.
Honda because of the twitchy front end?
Yes, I rode Keith Crawford's Honda at Johnsonville.
Yeah.
And legitimately thought about quitting riding. And
okay.
Rode a KTM the next weekend and was like, never mind. I still know how to ride. So, yeah, definitely anything Honda.
That might be a little overstating that you still know how to ride.
Yeah. To the best of my abilities.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
What about you, Scotty?
I had a 03 KTM 125 and that thing
sure did.
Yeah, that thing was the most, not only did it have PDS suspension and it gave me a head shake like the first time I rode it, I thought I was like I still had my 85 when I first got it, and I rode that KTM like 2 laps, and then I just got back on my 85, and I was like, I'm not moving up yet, even though I'm like already too old for the 85 class. Like, this bike sucks, and then like when it ran good, but that was few and far between. Yeah. So now I have a KTM now, and I love it. It's the best bike I ever had, but 03 they weren't quite there yet, so that one struggled. We always
PDS suspension was hot garbage.
From when I was like 16 to 17 to like almost 18 or 19, I'd like never really rode because it was always something with that bike. And eventually I just started riding my dad's 03 YZ250, and then that turned into me getting my own. So I helped pay for it, but we did it together. Yeah. But and then I was like, oh, this is what a real dirt bike feels like. Yeah, because that 125 was not it.
Well, mine will be the 2023 Kawasaki KX450, because I felt so awful on the thing after coming off the Husky that I didn't really want to ride it. I couldn't do anything on it
you look weird on that bike.
That made me feel safe.
It didn't fit you.
No, I was super uncomfortable and not enjoying it at all. A lot of people's like, it's a really good bike. It's really mellow. I don't know, man. I couldn't figure it out.
I rode his 19 a couple of times. I liked the 19.
Some people like them, some people don't.
Yeah.
That's any bike, though.
I had KX65 and KX85 too, though, so maybe, I don't know. It was
I've always,
in my DNA somewhere.
I've pretty much always been on Cali, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's ours. I'd like to hear our listeners. So, again, MotoXpod@gmail.com. Maybe we can get that could be actually a fun set of emails next week if we get a bunch of people's stories on why they didn't like their bikes, maybe what happened. Like, I felt like I almost died. The first time I rode the Kawasaki, I think I told
Bradshaw's bike.
No, well, you know what? Yeah, that was just me. That wasn't the bike. That was me. But the first time I rode that Kawasaki was at Kahia in California after coming off the 350, which had like no engine braking, or had engine braking. And then I got on that Kawasaki and I went over a table that was going downhill into a left-hand berm. And on the backside of the berm was just a drop off. And that bike had no engine braking. It just kept gaining speed. And I was like, I panicked almost. And I thought I was going to like launch off the berm. And I was never good on that bike ever. It made me, I literally said, I don't know if I can do this. And then when I got on the Yamaha, it took me a little while to get used to that bike. And I was like, maybe I just suck. I mean, I know I suck, but like really, really suck. So the Kawasaki is definitely the one. The 23 was not good for me. Didn't like me.
Yeah,
we good.
Funny. I was just saying, this weekend it was this reminded me that this weekend was funny. One of your best friends and one of our buddies, Michael Gage,
Michael D. Gage,
has rides the 09 Honda, which is like known as one of like the worst bikes ever, and he loves that. And he was probably faster than 85% of the people. He
loves that bike.
Yeah,
he loves it, but he's been racing the WR. That
dude, he looks
and he just shreds on that thing. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he
doesn't care.
He will ride
WR. Any bike you give him, he'll ride it to its max potential, pretty much. Yeah, and just be like, I don't know, man.
The only people in front of him was Emig on a brand new 350, a guy on a Stark, and then another guy on a brand new.
Odell.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Last
Yeah. So
all right, let's do the Barnett clutches, clutch performance of the week, and then we'll get Chance Hymas on. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with promo code VitalMX, all caps. We all burn up clutches, clutch plates. You're going to need one eventually. Support the show by getting Barnett clutches at barnettclutches.com. Really appreciate them coming on. I actually need to order a set of clutches for that Yamaha because it's going to be getting to a point soon where I need to change them out. So I'll be hitting those guys up for some Dirt Digger clutch kits, or a Dirt Digger clutch kit. But does anybody have a clutch performance of the week on hand, ready to go?
Yeah.
Scotty? Chase?
Go ahead,
Let's go, Chase.
VL adding to the points lead with Deegan on his tail the whole time. I mean, he never made any mistakes, just did what he knew he had to do. Added to the points lead and should be pretty confident going into the last round that he's going to win the championship.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's pretty locked in. And honestly, that's actually my clutch performance of the week also. The Barnett clutch performance of the week is I have Tom Vial and Hayden Deegan. Both those guys coming from the back, from going down and, and getting up in where they did up to the top. Very, very impressive. I mean, obviously the field's not that stacked, but it's still almost no mistakes that I saw from Vial. Very, very impressive for both those guys.
I mean, it definitely ended in fireworks with all but when they got into, I guess it was 4th and 5th, and they started catching Anstey, Hammaker, Swole, and Pierce. I was like, oh, this is it. There for a minute. They were all 6 of them were inside of 4 seconds, and I was like, this is about to get wild. And I mean, I guess it did. It did get wild. Not quite the way I expected it to, but that was nuts. But for my clutch performance, I'm actually going to go Jason Anderson.
Yeah.
Finally got it together, got a heat race win. Said, he called to getting on the podium and made a move and showed some aggression.
Showed a little aggression on Coop there at the end.
I mean, that was just kind of racing, I think. I mean, it was the last lap, last corner. I mean, what do you expect? So, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
That was my clutch performance.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was actually pretty stoked for Jason. I actually sent him a message. I don't know if you saw the reel that Troll Training did where they were asking people about their workouts and what they're doing. They were asking pros about it. And Jason, one, said that he really likes chicken wings post-race, but then they asked him how many pull-ups he could do, legit pull-ups, and he said maybe 10. So technically, he and I are teammates from Troll Training. So I sent him a message. I want to do a Troll Training pull-up contest.
Why can he only do 10?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I'm almost 50 years old, and I could do 10. So where you at, Jason?
I don't think I can do 10.
But anyway, we're going to, but our next guest of the night's on the line. It's brought to you by Blood Lubricants. Do you think all oil is the same? Well, it's not. It's a bit like food in that you can have all the same ingredients, but a great chef will make something that knocks your socks off. Blood Lubricants was developed from over 40 years of knowledge in the oil business and used by racers in the most grueling motorsports on the planet. Check out Blood Lubricants. That's BLUD, bloodlubricants.com. Use promo code VMX25 to save. Tonight, Blood Lubricants brings us from Factory HRC Honda, Chance Hymas. What's up, Chance?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going good, man. Glad to have you on. It's been a little while since we've had you on the show. I visited with you for just a moment in the hotel at Nashville. But yeah, I've been wanting to get you on, so thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, thanks for getting me on the show.
Yeah.
Happy to talk.
Yeah, so I want to how do you feel about your season so far? You've been riding really well. I mean, you had some ups and downs, right? But you're still learning, still very young and just kind of figuring this whole thing out after coming off the Futures program. Are you happy with where you're at post ACL surgery and just through this whole season so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been definitely an up and down season for sure.
Yeah.
I came in with about a lot higher expectations for myself than where I'm at. But, I guess sometimes that's how it goes a little bit. But speed's been really good. And it's just, for me, it's just been, the struggle's been putting it all together. I feel like coming in, I was a little bit behind the 8 ball with my knee. And then obviously the week before the first round, I retore my ACL.
Yep.
So I was it kind of felt like the dominoes were falling a little bit coming in. But honestly, once I got through the first round, I felt like my speed was really good because for me, I was kind of like in Wonderland a little bit. Where do I think I'm at? Where am I at? Is my fitness good? And I feel like that's kind of the same questions everyone asking themselves. So, but I came in, I was like, after the first round, I kind of reevaluated everything, and we're kind of like, all right. I mean, definitely had speed for a podium, kind of fell apart a little bit. The knee was getting better after that. So like, all right, come into Arlington, work on qualifying a little bit and just try to be a little bit more strategic, and obviously just kind of strode after that. It's kind of clicked off a little bit of a domino effect. I just had a couple bad finishes and then had a midweek crash and got a little injured. And so I was just a little bit more behind the eight ball than I would have wanted to. But it's, to me, it was a big learning experience for sure. And just for me, it was trying to learn each weekend and the next weekend being better. And then just reevaluating after that and building it. But I mean, overall, like right now, like I got 8th at the shootout, and then this last week I got 5th. I mean, I did have a little help in the at the end of the main this last weekend. But I mean, overall, my riding's been really good. I feel like my fitness is getting better and better. And, just trying to piece the day together. This weekend, qualifying was a little bit better. I mean, I struggled a little bit, but like in the main, I felt really good, and like I pushed the whole time. And like previously, I just felt like I would kind of get tunnel vision, and then I would kind of lose pace a little bit, But no, overall, I'm somewhat happy with where I'm at. Obviously, always want to be better, but no, I feel like fitness wise, like I'm feeling really good going into outdoors, and kind of excited to just get a little reset there and maybe see if we can, run out in front and maybe be a title contender.
Yeah, I want to get to outdoors in a minute, but I want to touch on something you said a moment ago. You said you had higher expectations for yourself. Of course, then the knee injury happened. Where were your expectations re-injuring the knee? Where did you feel you would be?
Yeah, I felt like I could have been a podium guy. Obviously, off season, I felt like I had a lot of speed and I was feeling really good, and we were doing a lot of work to the bike, and the bike was awesome. And it was kind of one of those things where you're on the same track over and over, and you're feeling really good, and you're doing really fast laps. And obviously, I'm riding with Jen Hunter, and there's days I've been really, really close to them. So, just was really confident coming into the first round. And honestly, I think if I didn't have the little bit of pain I was dealing with at the first round, I think I could have podiumed and been there, But I mean, after that and doing it consistently, I just was a little bit behind on expectations. So I was like, all right, let's start with getting a top 5. And then I finally got one this weekend, But I mean, coming in, I felt like I could have been a podium guy. But I think my riding and conditioning was there, but mentally, it's easier said than done for sure. I think I was just lacking a little bit of experience on the mental side, and just thinking through the process. There's a lot to think about going through a weekend, and you got to be very smart, very strategic. So I think obviously I'm getting better at that now, but I think that was just kind of what I was lacking, but I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, for sure. Scotty?
Yeah, Chance, it's no secret that there's big shoes to fill at the Honda team. They've won the last few championships, and then you obviously have the shadow of the Lawrence brothers and the success that they're having in the 450 class.
Why, Scotty? Why are you putting that pressure on him?
I didn't. I'm just I'm commentating.
He probably
about
never
pressure.
thought about that, and then you just screwed up his whole. Yeah, wow.
Okay, just answer. There's the question. Just answer that.
Yeah, I mean, no, definitely. I definitely know there's some big shoes to fill, and Jet Hunter and like the time they came in and when they moved up, like they definitely were at the top of the sport. Like I mean, especially Jet, like he's kind of a once in a lifetime person, Like, but for me, I feel like I'm maybe taking a little bit longer to get the grasp of it. Like obviously. It would have been awesome to come in and be as successful as Jet right off the bat, But for me, I feel like I'm going to be able to take a little bit longer, but I do believe I can get there one day, So there's definitely there's some big shoes to fill for sure, and I'm sure Joe feels the same way too. But I mean, in the end, we're all racers. We're all going to do what we can to win, and I'm doing everything I can to win, and the team knows that, and I feel like they can see it weekend to weekend with the progress being made. So, there's definitely a little bit of added pressure there. Like, I feel like when I don't do as good as I would like to, I feel like I'm not just letting myself down, but letting the team down. But I mean, honestly, they've been super awesome and super patient with me. And just like, you know, you came in a little bit behind the 8 ball. Let's just work on progressing each weekend. Let's scratch the result. Like, just focus on you, focus on what you need to work on, and let's just focus on making progress each weekend. If we do that, do these baby steps, like, we'll get there one day.
Yeah.
And to me, that's been like a little bit calming in a sense, you know, like, cause they know how bad, like, I want it, how hard I'm working to get to it. You know, it's just, unfortunately, it's sometimes doesn't show at the races, you know. It's just, for me, it's like maybe a little bit of a late bloomer, you know, just kind of taking a little bit more time than I wish, you know, but I feel like the more experience I'm getting down, the better I'll be for sure.
Yeah, I think that you're well on your way to doing that. You've showed a lot of potential, and I don't think you've fully had the opportunity to get there. And really, where I wanted to go with that question for Dark Side just cut me off was the fact that, you know, the confidence that you have, and you kind of mentioned the help of the team and that they're supportive and they're behind you. You know, the confidence that you give knowing that team is capable of winning championships is the expectations of that team, and the confidence that you get knowing that you're a part of a winning program.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's proven that the bike is definitely worthy of winning a championship. I mean, it's been at the top of the lights class, and even now, 40 class for the last year and a half. So it's, like I said, it's a bit of a slow process, but I mean, it's definitely nice to know that I have all the ingredients. I just got to make the meal, you know?
Yeah. I want to go back to another thing you mentioned a little bit ago too. You talked about you've kind of had this issue with almost like losing the pace and having tunnel vision. That's kind of a mental thing, right? And that's going to come with experience. How do you work on that during the week? Is there a way to even deal with that? Because the practice during the week doesn't really compare to a race. Have you found a way to kind of focus on that and maybe try to find a way to refocus during the actual main event or heat race?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, that's where it's hard, because you're going to a practice track and you're trying to change up lines, but you know what the fast lines are. Like, it's so repetitive at the practice track. So that's when it comes into being strategic. Like, all right, scratch a lap time at a practice track. Like, be a little bit stubborn and change up your lines, change up the lines every lap. Like, just put the ego to the side, and, you know, you gotta work on things and slow things down a little bit here and there. So for me, I just really worked on just trying to change up lines during my practice motos. And like, even today, like, I was working on it quite a bit. Like, the last month I've been working on it, but it's like kind of today, like, I was kind of forced to. I was out at Paula, and you're kind of working around people here and there, so it's kind of forcing you to move out of your line and take different lines, and that eventually leads into making new lines or trying different stuff. Like, at the private track we ride at, like, it's tough. Like, you're always trying to make a new line, you know, but it's different when you're trying to pass somebody or you're trying to pass a group of people, and you have to try and take so many different lines and go probably where you never thought you'd go on the track. So, it's, for me, like, basically after Daytona, or whenever we had that bigger break after Indy, that was just my main focus. Like, just trying to try different lines and just be more open to trying different lines and different rhythms, and just not being so tunnel vision on one line, one rhythm the whole moto. And I feel like that's started to correlate a little bit into my races. Like, I'm more confident and more comfortable taking a different line during the race, or like if I'm in a battle, just switching up the lines. Like, I don't have to think twice about it, you know?
Yeah, I've asked this question, and you've basically answered it to a lot, but I've asked a lot of riders, when we see video of test track stuff, you can see the main line burn in. It doesn't look like you guys ever go outside the main line. So I wonder how often riders like yourselves go, you know what, I'm going to go totally the slow line and just try this different rhythm and do it a few laps, because in a race you might have to do that. And I guess it probably is kind of difficult to force yourself to do that.
Yeah, it's tough, because like in our class, like we're so start dependent because everyone's so close to speed. So it's, if you get stuck in a 7th, 8th position, like you're all over the place trying to move. But like early laps, like there's people doing different rhythms. There's 3 or 4 dudes in a corner at one time. Like it's so chaotic that you're trying to do different things, but you're also trying to move forward. But once things spread out, like everyone's doing one main line, and obviously the one main line is the fastest line, but sometimes you can get off rhythm a little bit, and maybe you lose a little bit at the beginning of it, but you can gain it back at the end, which can set you up in a different part of the track for opening up for a pass. You know, 'cause it's hard if you're taking the same line as someone in front of you the whole time. Like it's hard to get that little advantage on them to get close enough to pass them, you know, without completely running into them.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy that you're, you know, learning all of this, and at this point, you know, you're only in your second full year of professional career, and like the tracks haven't been easy on y'all, Chance. Like it's been weather and just conditions that are just not ideal, and from going from the amateurs where it's just scrubbing and full speed to picking lines and having to have that racecraft, the fact that you've figured out as much as you have is testament to, you know, your progress. So like, just talk about how gnarly the tracks have been.
Yeah, it's tough too, because like the general layout of the tracks have been like a pretty basic layout, which honestly, like in my opinion, it's been making it tougher because it beats in one main line, and it just makes the racing really tight. Especially where the whoops have been kind of jumpers now. I guess besides this weekend where Max was skimming them, but I mean, like the last few rounds or whatever it's just been jumpers. So it's like, it's hard to get that little advantage like there, because the rest of the track is everyone's the same speed, you know, like you can get them a little bit in the corners, or like maybe scrubbing into a rhythm, but like overall you're going to do your 2-3-3-2 or whatever. Like you're not going to change up the rhythm. Like it's tough to learn that, and just almost coming from an amateur aspect of it, because there's only 3. I mean, at the time, I feel like when I was growing up racing amateur, like there was quite a few dudes that were pretty fast, but now looking at it, there's only 2 or 3 dudes that are fast right now in the amateurs. And then besides that, it's like it falls off a little bit.
Sure.
And it's at the pro level, there's not just 3 dudes, you're talking, I don't know, 14 factory guys,
right?
Like that.
Yep.
I mean, at the shootout, it's like I knew coming in, like there's gonna be one factory guy that's not gonna make the main. You know, like there's so many people, and it's so chaotic when you put everyone together. It's like that's just stuff you don't even think about when you're an amateur. You know, like obviously you're so focused on the one goal at hand, and like you're going race to race, and obviously you have one job to do. And at the time, for me, there was like Ryder D, like he was basically my sparring partner. You know, like I was every race that we did, like it was always me and him, always racing him. And then once you move up from that and you go to the pro level, I mean, the first national I did, I got 20th in the first moto, 11th in the second moto, and I was battling. Yeah. Like I remember I was in 15th, and I was battling with Jeremy Martin, like two-time pro motocross champion. We're battling for 15th. Yeah. And it's like it battle to the death. Like you would think we're in top 5 or going for a podium or even a win. Like it's crazy. And like I was kind of joking with Drew Adams a little bit because I train with him, and he's obviously he's been doing really good, and he's really trying to race the nationals. He's going to race in Canadian nationals. I'm like, dude, you're going to be in a battle when you first start racing nationals. You're gonna think you're in top 5 or you're going for the podium, but you're gonna be in like 12th or 13th, and it's gonna throw you for a loop, dude. Like, yeah. I remember going through that phase, and I was like, dude, like I feel like I'm so much higher up because it's so intense, but it's just the field's so deep, and there's so many guys that are so good, you know.
Yeah, it's got to be like, if you're not mentally prepared for that, if somebody hasn't kind of told you, hey, this, like, if you know. Like Drew right now has you. If you don't have somebody like that telling you and you're not prepared, it could be mentally like, oh, maybe I suck. So yeah, you have to know that like it's going to take a couple years to figure this out.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you get thrown in the deep end, and it's like obviously like what I am for Drew is what Jet and Hunter are for me.
Yeah.
So like obviously when I first came into it, they're at the top of the sport, and like they kind of explained it to me. And back when I was working with Jake Weimer, like he was pretty funny about it. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, you're gonna go race a national, and you're gonna be in a battle, and yeah, you're gonna be in 14th or 15th, and you're gonna be in a battle for your life. And like I kind of like brushed it off, like maybe it's not that bad. And then then did the national at Paul, and I was like, oh, he was not joking.
You're like, how can I go? How can I go any faster? Yes, yeah, it's crazy.
I was like, dude, I'm even top 10 either motor. I got 15th overall. I was like, holy.
Sure.
But, it's one of those things you get thrown in the deep end right off the bat, and mentally you gotta let yourself almost fail a little bit. You know, that's where I was I was a little stubborn. You know, I've always chasing the result, like right off the bat. Like last year, right off the bat, I went 13-12 at Paula or something like that at the first round, and I was pretty bummed about it. But I raced 4 rounds of Supercross, and then I didn't race for 2 months. And before that, I hadn't raced since basically Loretta's. So you kind of have to be patient. That's for sure, especially if you don't come right off the bat doing good.
I do want to talk about what I feel has been somewhat successful this year is you won the heat in Foxborough, as I recall, led a heat in Detroit, and then this weekend I think was your best finish overall. So you have to be able to take those positives, right? And I'm sure that means a lot to you to see the progression and winning a heat. I mean, that's got to feel great.
Oh, definitely. Like, I mean, yeah, like a lot of people don't think winning a heat race is maybe a big accomplishment, but there's a lot of guys out there. Like, I hadn't won a race in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's only a 6-minute race, but man, it just kind of clarifies. It's like, you know, you can do this. It's when you start knocking off the 8th, 7th places over and over and over, you kind of get in that mental fog. It's like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is this not working? But that's just the part where you need to be patient, and like your time will come. Like you got to keep working and working, and just keep your head down. And that right there for me was like a big confidence boost, just knowing that I can run up front, because not only did I win it, but like reflecting on my riding, like I got the whole shot, and I just didn't feel like I was overriding. Like I never felt like I was out of control. Like it was probably the most comfortable I felt in a race prior to that.
That's great to hear.
Because I hit my marks every lap. Lap times were really consistent. And for me, I felt like I rode really smart, and I kept my cool. Like I had Hayden all over me, and like obviously I can hear all those guys behind me, but I kept doing my thing, kept pushing forward, and I was really happy about that. Like on top of the win, obviously, like that's a great feeling. Like obviously everyone loves winning, but that on top of it was kind of a little cherry on top. I mean, obviously at the end of the night, the P12 in the main was not awesome, but
right.
Like the next day reflecting on it, like I was just like, man, it was almost like I didn't race the main. I was like, I was still so stoked on the heat win, just because like it just gave me such a confidence boost. Like it just gave me that little feeling of, you know, like maybe I am doing something right. Like maybe what I have been doing, like it's there, like it's good. I just got to keep working and just keep believing.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. Chance Hymas brought to you tonight by Blood Lubricants.
You'll go ahead.
Go out? Okay, let's talk about outdoors then. You're excited about outdoors. You said you were at Paula, so I assume you're doing some outdoor testing. How's the bike coming along? How confident are you? Like I said, it's good to have a change now. You know, Supercross comes to an end. Let's go outdoors and start over.
Yeah, definitely excited for a little bit of a change. It's always nice coming off Supercross for 6 months or so, and then riding outdoors. It's a bit of a refresher, you know. But no, I'm more excited. Like the experience I've been gaining, like I feel like I can come into outdoors and be a top guy for sure. Maybe not right off the bat, but I feel like I can run more up front than in that 8th to 10th or 12th place, you know? So I feel like, the bike's in a really good spot right now. We did a bunch of testing in Florida after Indy, and now we're doing a little bit of testing here on the West Coast. Obviously, the first couple rounds are on the West, and dirt's quite a bit different than Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of just verifying everything we did in Florida is going to work when we're here for the first 2-3 rounds. So no, I feel very good on outdoors. I feel like I'm in good condition right now. Body's healed up good. Yeah, I feel like I'm in good shape, and more just excited. I feel like I kind of have that spark of doing something new, and you're all in on it.
Yeah,
you know? So
yeah.
Obviously, the focus is still like I still got one more race, and I want to go on the shootout and get a good result. Like if I got a top 5 at the shootout, like I would be really stoked at that going into outdoors. So that's still obviously Supercross is still number one priority. Sure. But once Supercross is done, I'm full mindset on outdoors. I mean, everyone is, you know. Yeah. But no, it's been very exciting riding outdoors. I just feel like my riding's been really good and the most confident I've been going into one of the series so far in my career. So
okay.
No, just really excited to race outdoors. Like it's just something different, something new, good reset.
Yeah. You mentioned verifying that the settings from Florida work okay in California. Was it okay? Were there significant changes made once you got to California, or do you feel like you're pretty close?
No, I feel like we were really close. I mean, today I really I opened up the compression a little bit. Just the bumps are a little bit harder here, a little bit harsher on the hands and the legs. So just trying to just soften it up a little bit, just a touch. I mean, we're only talking a few clicks. So, I mean, that's all I did. And I mean, overall, like my bike felt really good. And like the changes we were doing in Florida, like I think everything we did was really productive. So
good.
I feel like bike's in a really good place. I'm really happy with the bike. And they're continuing to find more stuff, and we're doing a lot of things. And we're going to be doing a little bit of testing here too, just to keep trying some new product. But no, it's been, I feel like our long week of testing was definitely beneficial.
Good.
Do you got a round that you're really looking forward to outdoors this year?
Right now it would be Colorado. I mean, I got a third there last year, but Colorado's more of like the way the track is and like the dirt and the way it wraps up is more of a track I grew up riding, like type track. Like the clay based, more ruddy, more technical. That's just more of the type of tracks I grew up riding. So like I felt really comfortable there last year.
Yeah, elevation kind of evens the playing field as well.
Yeah, definitely. And being at the elevation and learning how to keep the momentum because the bikes are definitely underpowered. And no, that one's definitely the most exciting for me. I mean, I only got to do 4 of them last year, and I always grew up racing Paula and Hangtown for Loretta's qualifiers. So Lakewood was one of those tracks I think I raced there once before I raced the National. So yeah, that one's definitely probably my favorite one I did last year, one I'm most looking forward to.
I get to race. I say get to. I'm going to say I have to race Paula the weekend after you do for my regional. I'm going to go. I'm in Texas, but I also qualified out there. So I'm going to go let Paula make me embarrass me. I'm sure that place is awful.
Paula was always not my favorite place for a regional. I'll tell you that.
I think I'd rather if I didn't. GH.
Yeah, I don't mind GH. I think GH is pretty fun. I mean, obviously, I don't get to ride GH all the time.
Right.
So
I saw God coming down the hill.
Hey, everybody does ride in that place.
I got one more about outdoors, and we've got a few more after that. But just with outdoors, is this a contract year for you? First of all, I don't know if you want to say, but
it is, yeah.
Okay, so how much does that play into your thinking? Like, I don't know what your expectations are for outdoors. Is it let's go? We got to get podiums, or let's just get through the whole thing healthy? Kind of how does the contract year even really play into what you're trying to accomplish?
No, I mean, my expectations are still put in place, not involving my contract year, because I know if I go step by step and I do everything I know I can do and ride the way I can, the opportunity will be there. It'll present itself.
Yes.
I just have to go. I have to start with going and doing me, and going step by step, and not letting the outside effects affect me. You know, like it's whatever happens. It's all I can do. All I can do is control what I have, and that's racing my dirt bike. So
perfect.
I gotta keep the head down, stay focused on racing my dirt bike, and I mean, most importantly, I got to keep it fun. I mean, obviously everyone knows that everyone's having fun, you know, but no, it's definitely an important summer for me. Definitely want to keep my feet where I'm at. That's for sure. So I need to go perform and make that happen. But yeah, just most importantly, I need to keep doing me.
Yep.
And if I do that and keep on this trajectory I am and keep learning, and I definitely feel like the opportunity to present itself. But no, I mean, that pressure is always there, but I mean, it's whether you let it affect you or not, and I'm not going to let it affect me. I still have whether or not I have a contract here or not, I still have a job to do.
Perfect. I like it.
Like I said, Chance, we had your pictures going as you were talking through the interview, and I got to give you props for having, you know, a different variety of gear. It seems like, especially in the 250 class, that it's a lot of the same stuff. A lot of the guys look the same, and it's the same thing every weekend. And you had quite the variety. The Wonder Bread gear was sick. I like the partnership with Fly. Just kind of talk about what you like about the gear that you have. Which one's been your favorite? However you want to take it, man.
Yeah, I mean, Fly Racing's been knocking it out of the park this year. I mean, I've worn Fly gear my whole life. I mean, my first ever pair of gear was Fly gear. So no, they've been nothing but awesome. I got no complaints at all. They've been busting their butts for me. I mean, that Wonder Bread gear was one of the only times they've done a full custom set of gear that they haven't released to the public. So
right.
The fact that they were willing to do that was big. But no, like the gear's been awesome this year, and like even like the last, actually I guess all year, like the gear's been looking really good, and they're always up to doing new things. Like they're not stuck on, oh, we've always done it like this, we're gonna do it like this. They're always willing to try things, which I think is awesome. Like for me, I'm in the newer generation where definitely when I was first coming into racing professional at Fly, there's people there that have been there since, early 2000s. So it's now there's some people there that are part of the newer generation. So they kind of see how, I guess, kind of like the fashion part of moto, how it's evolving a little bit. So they're part of the design team, and they're coming up with good ideas and like good, obviously like the videos they've been putting together. Jerome, Two-Tone Jerome, Anthony Jerome, he's been just killing the videos. I love it. But yeah, like the custom gear, the Wonder Bread gear is awesome. I mean, even like the St. Jude stuff we had was rad, and just the way they're designing these kits. And even this last weekend, it's been rad. That's all I can really say about it. It's just been rad.
Yeah, Chance, we had the chat going earlier, and we were talking about I was talking about how I'm wearing Crocs, and I Dark Side always gives me crap when I rock the Crocs, and I was talking about a collab for some Alpine Star Crocs or some kind of something. So yeah, we can get creative. I like where your head's at.
Well,
you know where Crocs came from, right?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know if I can get behind that one.
Thank you. I keep telling him, he's like, well, my girlfriend bought them for me. Like, yeah, because she doesn't want another chick to look at you.
Hey, they are so comfy, bro. Don't
care. I told you I don't care. I'm not even going to go.
I was a server and I have bad feet. And
I do not care.
I rock them.
But speaking of Fly, like the show's sponsored by FXR, but it used to be sponsored by Fly, and I love those guys. JT, Max used to be there, and I love the light gear. I like the hydrogen. They used to be called light hydrogen. The BOA. Now that it's back on the back, I didn't really love it on the front, but now that it's back to the back, I really think that's a cool thing they came up with. And yeah, the fly gear is really cool. I really enjoy it. If it's my second, my second go-to.
Well, actually, that made me think of a debate that we had at our local race that Darkside and I were at this weekend.
Oh God, please give
So
here we go.
Then, and what's the difference between so Darkside was wearing a 60 helmet, FXR gear, Alpine Star boots. I was wearing a TLD helmet, fly gear, and I have some Old Fox boots because I'm poor. But Darkside said that mine's not okay, but his is because they don't make those certain gear or something like that.
60 helmets. 60 helmets is universal. Alpine Star boots are universal.
My baloney.
Fox boots are not universal. Troy Lee Design helmet is not universal.
My baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR.
Well, what do you think, Chance?
Nah, I mean, I have to agree with that. The Alpine Star boots are definitely universal.
I'm poor, Chance.
You're gonna lose this every time.
I get it.
I mean, look, dude.
Soul Rider. I'm a Soul Rider.
I'm okay with you doing it. I'm just
going
gonna talk about it.
Before I had my job at Vital, I always bought whatever was on clearance, but I bought the same shit.
Hey man, I run with your brung.
I didn't buy Fox pants and the Troy Lee Design
I don't swap out.
I'll eat ramen
jerseys.
noodles one week if I have to be matching.
But
I don't wear like a Thor jersey and like Fox pants.
I expect no less from somebody that wears Crocs.
Yeah, hey, I'm riding. That's all that matters.
Let's a few more questions and we'll let you go. The showdown you mentioned, you want to go get a top 5, but how important is that to you overall? Is just to get a good result closing out the season? You know, you are 2 points behind Jalik Swole and 5 behind Bedick, I believe. I mean, obviously you want to beat those guys and move up a couple spots, but that showdown against both coasts, like how important is that to you?
Yeah, it's definitely, I'd say it's really important. I mean, it's the last time you're going to see everybody before you all line up on the case together for outdoors. So I feel like there's a little bit maybe a little bit comes into ego a little bit, you know, but you want to go out with everyone knowing like, hey, like this guy's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm in that top 5 pack, like that's the top 5 people, or like even like the top 10, like you can't even, like it's hard to just to pinpoint just the top 5 because like obviously everyone's going to be good. So, but like if you're obviously farther up, the better it looks. But you know, just like feel like I'm doing good, and like this top 5 this last weekend was good. And like even at Nashville, like I was struggling jumping the whoops. I was not good at jumping the whoops, and I feel like if I had 2 laps to go, if I would have just been able to just jump the whoops, I would have had a 6th cliff. And that I feel like that's what lost my race.
Okay.
So
well, yeah.
I feel like it's definitely possible. Like I can definitely get that top 5, and for me, it's also a confidence thing. Like you're going in the outdoors, like all right, like I'm going into something that maybe like right now I feel a little bit more comfortable with outdoors. I feel more confident with it. Like I feel like I'm maybe more ready for outdoors.
Right.
So just knowing that like maybe I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball in Supercross right now, but I can go finish 5th where maybe these guys have had a little more time than me, and then I can just once I put all my focus on outdoors, I can be that top 5, top 3 guy weekend to weekend.
Good deal. I want to see it, man. I want to see it. We're going to close this thing out. 2 more questions. One is from the Vital MX forum from One Wheel Wheaties. He wants to know, as most rookies struggle with fitness for pro-length races, do you feel racing off-road in the past gave you a fitness edge over the other rookies who took the more traditional only race national amateur races route?
I mean, it's hard to say no for sure.
Right.
But I mean, I would say yes. Not only like the fitness part of it, like there's a lot on the riding aspect that it taught me, but I mean, definitely for the fitness, like for me, it was just kind of maybe clarifying that like we're doing 1.5-hour, 2-hour races, but just being able to go that full distance. And like, for me, it was like, all right, like I'm going to go in here and maybe try and push the whole time, but like, you're going to try and ride 90% the whole time. Like, it's obviously like, if you're going to go 100% for 1.5 hours, like might be doable, but
Yeah.
I mean, most likely you're going to burn out a little bit, you know? So it's like, I'm going to push the limit, and how long can I run at 90%, 92%, 92%?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like for me, it was just like at the time, like I was doing troll training, doing my off-road stuff. And I felt like, I was in pretty good shape, and I was working pretty hard, with John Westlink. So I was like, all right, this is a good test for me, because at the amateur races, we're doing 10, 15 minute motos, maybe 20 if we're lucky. So it's like, you don't get to test like your actual endurance. Like, everything was so start dependent and so sprint speed dependent that, like, people with endurance, like, you never got to really see it. So for me, racing off-road, that was more of just like for me, like, it, obviously over time doing them, it helped with my endurance for sure, going for that long. But at first it was just more like, you know, like, let's see if I can be competitive. And like, cause obviously the people I was racing were the best people in sport and the best people in off-road at the time, you know? So if I was like, you know, if I can go hang out, or I can go hang with these guys and even be like maybe in the ballpark with them at the end of the races, like where this is like their main domain of racing, like I feel like I'm pretty good in the ballpark there. And obviously that if I can go the distance, the confidence and the motivation to keep going and keep getting stronger comes with it. But I just think it helped me more on the riding side than more of the endurance side. Just because like racing off-road, the track's changing quite a bit, right? Or laps a lap. I mean, you're out there for an hour and a half. Like, there's a long time you're out there. So you're always trying to find maybe some smoother lines or ways you can open up the track to maybe link the track together better. And one thing it did help me was like more hard pack corners, flat corners. I learned how to use my back end to steer quite a bit, where like like I said earlier, like I grew up riding more clay-based ready tracks and even some sand tracks, but I would go to a race and I would really struggle trying on flat corners. And for me, that was like a place I could go where it's like, all right, I have to figure this out or else I'm not going to be competitive. Because when I went and raced off-road, like I would race a Grand Prix, that would be part of it would be moto track, and then obviously the rest of it's off-road with more flat. Yeah. Like we get to the moto track to have some ruts. I'm like, I'm better than everybody. And then we get up to the flat corners and everyone's faster than me. So I'm like, shoot, I got to figure this out.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like, cause in obviously Supercross moto, like we're dealing with ruts all the time. Like we're hitting when we're on a flat corner, like it's rare. Like especially in Supercross, I mean, you're turning on the start straight basically with a flat corner, or after the finish line. Sometimes, like it's for me, like I feel like I've coming into Supercross, like that part of racing off road helped me a little bit with the flat corners and like even like in the berms, you know, like sliding your rear end and getting pointed. Like I feel like I learned a lot of that racing off road. Yeah,
those techniques. That's perfect. All right, last question. This is a non-moto question. I sent you a text about it. Just I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
If you could commit a crime and get away with it, what would your crime of choice be?
Yeah, I really thought about this one.
Oh, good.
This was a long thought because I never actually thought about this. but you know, I love sports cars, you know, exotic cars. So I mean, I feel like if I go to you know, probably still an exotic car, like a Koenigsegg, maybe a Porsche or a Ferrari. Like, I mean, that's a pretty cool thing to get away with, I would think.
I like it. I'm down. All right, I would rob a bank and go buy some, but yeah, I mean, same thing.
I was gonna say bank fraud.
Yeah, but I dig it. I dig it, Chance. Well, I appreciate you answering the question. I appreciate you coming on for a little bit and hanging out with us. It's been great. Look forward to seeing you finish out the season strong, man.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me on here. It was good to chat.
Yeah.
Get everyone caught up a little bit. But yeah, you guys have a good one. Thanks for having me on.
You too, buddy. Be safe. All right. See ya.
All right. Sounds good. See ya.
Chance Hymas, brought to you by Blood Lubricants. Good stuff. Good stuff. We are running up a little bit against the clock for Benny, so I want to. I don't even know if I guess we do. We'll do the troll training top 5 real quick, and then we'll get to Benny, and we'll come back to the emails.
So if I wore Alpine Star Garnet boots,
we're back on this. Okay, you just said Alpine Star Garnet
Garnet boots. TLD started as a helmet company. So if I still wear the TLD helmet, fly gear,
doesn't work.
And Garnet or Alpine Star boots, that works.
If you got to wear the TLD gear if you're going to wear the helmet.
Yep.
It's a bunch of crap.
TLD started out painting helmets. Did they start out with just helmets only though as gear?
Yeah, it was just painting helmets.
Yeah, it wasn't making helmets.
You're wearing a W hat and a 60s shirt. What the
W
hell?
doesn't make helmets.
They're not
Oh my god.
W makes wheels.
No,
How does that even
You're
the
not
same
gonna win this
thing?
one.
I know
Scotty.
I'm not, but I'm gonna go down fighting.
I respect it.
It'd be like having a W wheel in the front and some other brand on the rear.
You know what I didn't happen to me this weekend? I didn't get a broken foot or a concussion. So my helmet and my boots did their job.
They worked.
Yeah.
We never said they wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't really say they would
We're
work.
just going to roast you for it.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
troll
fair.
training, top 5, riders such as Grant Harlan, Jeremy Martin, Henry Miller, and Jason Anderson all use troll training, which is the culmination of a combined 3 decades spent in the trenches of the professional sports scene, refining training methods, learning, absorbing, and training alongside some of the best in the business. Alex Martin and John Wesleyan have expert guidance in helping navigate the many nuances of training, including periodization, endurance, strength and conditioning, riding technique, on the bike structure, nutrition, and more. You guys saw troll training coming together this weekend at Villadilla.
Yeah, it was something.
Dude,
You didn't look winded.
I did 4 motos and no arm pump, which 2 weeks ago had some arm pump. So we've been working through that. Thanks to John.
I was
and Alex.
winded and had arm pump.
Yeah, you were just
pictures.
walking around the track, taking pictures.
There goes my C-class hero.
Troll training, baby. Troll training. Okay, the troll training top 5 next week is brought to you by our friend Peter Coward. He's one of the listeners. Top 5 motocross innovations. Okay, so fuel injection, start button, whatever. There's all kinds of them throughout history. Tonight's troll training top 5 is our favorite gear brands. I'll knock mine out. Like, we are a little bit limited on time here, so I'm going to say my first real set of motocross gear was 1990. It was O'Neill.
I was born.
It was they were fluorescent pink in the front on one leg and like I'll say fluorescent, it's not really, a blue on the left, or vice versa, and on the back they were switched.
Oh, nice.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's super 80s, 90s.
Yeah, it was killer. I loved
I
it.
love that stuff.
I said I think it was 95, the Fox gear with all the Honda wings.
Oh, we were supposed to pick out a specific.
I went with a specific
I just
print
went
to a
with gear
degree.
brands.
Oh yeah, me too.
But that's fine. I went with a print. The extreme gear of the mid 90s. I like the extreme gear, which none of that's in here right now. It's all in my shop. 1990 Axo gear. Loved the Axo gear. I was big on Axo or AXO.
Anything outside of the 90s?
No, man. And then, JT as a whole, JT gear with the JT logo going down the seam.
Yeah.
Loved it. Just over and over, JT. Those are my 5. Go ahead, Scotty.
I just did gear brands.
Okay. That's fine.
I did Fox, but more of older Fox stuff. That was that's kind of what got everything going was Fox gear. So older Fox gear, One Industries, which I'm glad they're coming back. I had some One gear.
I like some One Industries.
I saw some this weekend. It looked good.
Yeah, I like their stuff. I may actually be getting some of that.
TLD. I've had some cool TLD gears in the past, and I've liked some of the different things that they've
Got a pretty
done.
cool TLD helmet.
Yeah. Thanks. See, you gave it to me. That's another thing.
Yeah, I did give it to you.
He gave it. Chase was there. He gave it to me and said, oh, "Yeah, it fits like crap, doesn't it?"
No, just that one had some hot spots for me, some pressure points. It didn't fit like crap. It just
Darkside's got a fat head.
had a couple spots that were hot spots.
Okay. Anyway, so TLD, No Fear.
Oh,
Yeah.
No Fear.
Yeah,
I had some,
that's my number 1.
I had some back in I guess it was 06, 07. I
Yeah.
had some Paisley No Fear gear. It was sick. And then I wear Fly now, and I really like Fly. It's funny because Fly in the early 2000s, I always thought was kind of when it first came out.
It wasn't good.
I didn't like
wasn't
it, especially
no.
colorway wise.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better now.
They've come a long way. So yeah, those are my top 5.
Yep.
Fox, One, TLD, No Fear, Fly.
Chase?
So number 1, No Fear. Anything that McGrath wore was iconic.
Yeah.
Obviously. JT, number 2.
Chase, get a mic.
Oh, my bad. JT, number 2.
Yep.
The Dogger stuff, the Dalmatian. I've got a set of it at the house.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I almost said that specifically, but then for me it was just JT in general.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Fox, the pink stuff that I'm looking at right now.
Oh,
that,
the James
Stu
Stewart
wore.
had, yep.
FXR.
In a poster. I don't have any in studio. It's
Well,
just,
true.
So listeners know.
FXR is what I'm wearing now. Fits really good. I really like it. And then One Industries, there was an Acapulco set.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like pink, white, yellow, blue polka dots that I really like. So
yeah, and I specifically didn't pick FXR and Fly because it's what I wear currently. I wanted to go with old school stuff that was like all time favorite stuff. So yeah, no disrespect to my guys at FXR because currently they're crushing it. I did get an email from Jason Henniger. Or Henniger, sorry if I said it wrong. He said number 5 shift simply because Jeff Emming made it cool. LBZ over the pants. I'm out, but so cool when I was 10. Axo, first ever gear I had when I was a kid. Remember the cool colors they had. Fly Racing, they've come a long way over the years to be one of the most elite brands. Fox, most iconic brand in moto, had the best riders, used to put out cool movies, badass stuff. So appreciate you reaching out.
I've got some LBZ like hats and shirts, but I can't get down with their gear.
Yeah, it was never my thing, man. What about you, Scotty? What did you think of? I mean, when LBZ was a thing, did you think it was cool at the time? You're probably pretty freaking little. No,
I mean, I never really liked it. Whenever I saw somebody wearing them, I was like, this guy. Yeah,
we never really saw it when it was around.
I did. I was on like 50s and 65s when it was pretty big.
I didn't start riding until late.
The Free Scout style guys wearing it. But our next guest of the night's on, so let's get to him. We can ask him what he thinks about LBZ gear. But he's going to be brought to you tonight by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers. With industry-leading fit, finish, and performance, progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible, used by the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, some guy named Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and ask to see their complete 2024 lineup. Tonight, FXR brings us some guy named Benny Bloss. What's up, Benny?
How we doing?
We're doing good, man. Do you have to get your gear, like your pants, specially made? Do they tailor it special for you?
I do not.
Okay.
Honestly, and for any tall guy out there, the FXR gear, it fits really good for tall people.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty much the only gear that I've worn that, like the leather on the knee.
Uh-huh.
It's like the only gear that I've ever worn that the leather's actually on my knee. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. How tall are you? I'm 6'2", 6'3", depending on the day. Where are you at?
I'm like 6'5", 6'5.5", maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wear FXR most of the time, and it fits fantastic. I love it. So glad they're a sponsor of the show. What do you think about the old LBZ stuff? I don't know if you ever had a chance to wear it, but I'm sure you saw photos.
I never wore it. I do remember some of the local guys having it on. It was, it was interesting.
The over the boot. I think, like Daniel Blair and his brother Vincent used to wear that stuff, and yeah, that's right up their alleys. Bunch of punks, punk ass kids. All right, Benny, let's talk about you and the Liquid Moly Factory Beta Racing team. Some struggles at the beginning of the season. You guys have been really coming on. Your results have been improving as the bike. I feel like you've gotten a lot more comfortable. How much of that has been testing and changing things compared to you just figuring it out?
Yeah, so like you said, we were up and down. I started riding the 450 the beginning of October, so we tested for basically 3 straight months. And like we found good settings. We ended up having some stuff that got changed on us like a week before Anaheim, which was interesting, to say the least. But no, when we worked through it, we expected to struggle in the beginning. It's an all new bike, all new team. We didn't think that it was just going to be smooth sailing from the start, but man, we tried so many different things. Really, in the month of January, we changed like a lot of stuff, just trying everything we could to see, what would work the best on engine stuff, chassis stuff, like suspension changes. But I want to say it was right around Daytona. I think the week after Daytona, so leading into Indy, I got a new suspension setting, and like I didn't go test it in California. They just sent it to me in Oklahoma, and I was like, yeah, I think I like this better. Took it to the race, started running it at the race, and I have been on that exact same suspension setting since then. There's been, some weekends where we'll make clicker changes, but not like a crazy amount. And then some weekends, not even touch a clicker. Like Seattle, I didn't touch a clicker one time all day, and the setup was sick. And so I think that has a lot to do with, getting better results since then. It seems to be, I've gotten a lot better since then. And I think it just helps that I've ridden the same setup for, 2 months now. So every day I ride, when I go ride at the practice track, then go to the race, it's the same setup every single time. And so I've really gotten to where I trust that the motorcycle, like I have full trust in it, and it's like I know exactly what it's going to do in every section of the track, which helps the confidence obviously a lot. So,
sure.
It's been really nice.
You mentioned that you knew you were going to struggle with it being a new bike, a new team and all that. But once you actually were in the series and struggling, was it more difficult mentally to deal with than you expected, or were you fully prepared for what you were dealing with?
I mean, I'm not going to say that it was easy.
Yeah.
It's basically, like, honestly, the off season went pretty smooth. We didn't have a crazy amount of issues. I'm a large human being, so I tend to break things maybe a little easier than others, and I ride the bike hard, so that plays a part. But like, there was some stuff that I would break pretty much the same time every time, but we didn't have like that many issues in the off season. And then those first couple rounds, we were just fighting through some stuff, and I don't know, man. It was obviously, I expected to struggle. There was stuff that we struggled with that I hadn't expected to struggle with. But I mean, it's all part of it. It's like, coming into it, like this year wasn't like, at Anaheim 1, we better have things figured out. Otherwise, like, what's the point? It was like, we have 17 rounds of Supercross to struggle. If we struggle at 17 rounds, we struggle at 17 rounds.
Sure.
Like, that's, we came in with open minds, knowing that there would be issues, and thankfully we were able to figure out any of the issues that we had, and it's been really smooth since then. Had good results, had bad results, but honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So
good.
It's been really cool for me to be a part of a new motorcycle and like having so much testing, where previous years, I have had lots of testing in the past, but I've also had years like last year where I've had 0 days of testing. And so like, it was cool for me to be like, go to the track and I'd be like, hey, we're testing this, 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 and this, where like sometimes, it's a long day and it's, it takes a lot out of you. I wasn't used to that. So I thought it was cool for me just to be a part of it. The whole process has been awesome.
Yeah. And I would imagine once you start finding things that are working, like the suspension settings, and you start having a little more success or get more comfortable, that's more rewarding with it being an all new bike than in years past where you go, oh, I figured out the Yamaha, or I figured out this, because it is all new. I would assume it's more rewarding. Yes, no?
Oh, definitely. And it's like, in the past, like you're on a Yamaha or you're on a KTM, like you can call people and be like, hey, what did you guys do for this? Or what did you guys do for that? I can't really call anybody, It's, I mean, basically anybody that's on the team, like we have all the knowledge. Like anybody that knows anything about it, it's just us. So, it's definitely rewarding. I know that Colt has struggled a little bit, like once he came back to racing, and it's definitely a little harder because we're not even close to the same as far as riding goes. Obviously, we're built a lot differently, and we're not going to like the same thing. So it's not like both of us are like bouncing ideas off of each other, but we're also, some stuff that he tried in the off season, he was like, hey, I think this is better, have Vinny try it. And then kind of the same with me, like some stuff has like worked and for both of us, but it's, I don't know. it's been cool.
Good.
I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So how long were y'all in California before you got to come back to Oklahoma?
So I went to California, Paso, which is like Central California, where the Beta USA headquarters is.
Right.
I went there, I want to say October 4th was my first day there riding, and I stayed there until I came to Oklahoma Sunday after Anaheim too. So
you think getting to come back to Oklahoma has helped? Just being in familiar area?
Definitely.
So.
I mean, I liked Paso. I'm obviously SoCal is like, you kind of have to go there at times, and I've always hated it there. And so going to Paso was a lot better for me. It's way nicer up there, less crowded, less like no traffic. Like it was a lot nicer to go there, and I was a lot happier. But there's nothing like home. And even though like I live in Missouri now, Oklahoma is still basically home for me. I spent a lot of years here, so the track's just really good. The dirt's really good, and I don't know, it just feels more like home. It makes me a little happier. So I did kind of start getting a little better once I got back here, but I mean, I don't think that California was really an issue.
Right. Yeah, Paso is a little bit different than SoCal.
Yeah,
and
a lot
different than Oklahoma.
Yeah, Benny, I had a little bit of want to talk a little bit more about the team, and it was funny. One of our listeners said that I was showing pictures of you riding on while you were talking, and they're like, "Oh, it's cool that they got pictures of Benny riding a 110." So
there's one photo where he's jumping that it does look like a mini bike.
Yeah. But I just wanted to see like how your mindset has changed being on a factory team. Obviously, it was a work in progress, and we're starting to see some of the results from it. Just kind of like compared to what you've had in the past, or like what's some things that maybe you had to think about before that you don't have to now, or vice versa, being on the factory team.
Well, first off, being on the factory team, especially coming from last year, being like almost like I was basically just like a privateer. Like where you got to come up with everything. You got to do the travel, you got to do the bike stuff, which I did have a mechanic, so he kind of took care of a lot of that stuff. But like with the factory team, I don't have many things to have to worry about other than getting myself ready, which is huge. And it takes a lot of stress off. Like all I have to do is do my training, and that's pretty much it. The team takes care of everything else, which is huge, obviously. And then being able to have a test track in the off season was also huge. Not having to worry about if it gets cold here, I got to try to find a way to get to this place or get to this place. And like all the logistics were taken care of by the team, which is nice. And then also just the comfort in knowing if I don't like something on the bike, like we can change it. Where like last year it was like, okay, this is what we have, and like we didn't have many parts. So it was like, if this breaks, I'm going to be a couple weeks out on riding, or like I'm going to miss at least a week. And like I don't really have that issue now. It's, if I break a part, we just change the part. Or if I don't like this, we change this or that. And it wasn't really like that before. So just like all the logistics, I don't have to worry about basically anything.
That takes so much pressure off you.
Definitely. It makes it where it's like I can put 100% of my focus on my training and making sure that I'm ready, and the team makes sure the bike is ready, and that every time I get on the bike, I don't have to worry about that. I just go do my motos, do my laps, and we go to the race. Everything's handled.
Nice.
So that's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured it had to be just like the little things, just like they being able to focus on the riding and not the facilitating getting there. It's got to be huge.
Definitely. I will say another thing that's kind of off the topic a little bit, but when I, like you say, the 110 thing, there's times where I'll look at pictures of myself on the beta and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I look so big and it looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is that I feel so much more comfortable on the beta. Like I feel like it fits me better. And then I'll look at a picture and I'm like, am I just like stupid or something?
There's one where you're sitting down and Coop's standing up and you're still higher than he is.
Well, like when I
Coop's a
sit
little
on
bitty
the bike, like the whole, like everything about it, I just feel like it fits me really good. I don't have to do anything crazy for it to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Where like other bikes I've ridden, and it's like, if I don't have the pegs lowered on a tall seat, I'm like extremely uncomfortable. Which, I mean, I do have lowered pegs and a tall seat on the Beta, but not like to the level that I have had on other bikes.
I remember we had you on, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I think you had just gone from Yamaha to KTM or something like that. And we were talking about like how I always felt like the Austrian bikes or the steel frames fit you better. So do you think that has something to do with it being back on the steel frame?
That's before you answer that. That's actually one of our Vital MX Forum questions. So that's good.
I'm
That's
ahead of
good.
the curve.
But yeah, so that MX Addict wanted to know what it compares closer to. So that's a good question, Scotty. I'll give you credit on that one.
Oh my God.
So as far as like the comparisons on the Japanese bike, I look at Vital sometimes. I looked at your guys' questions, the people's questions on there. It's not really like a crazy amount like one or the other. It's kind of has its own feel. Like it obviously has a steel frame, so it's gonna feel a little bit like the KTM, but it has way more stability than the KTM had, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. It's honestly, it feels like a pretty good mix between the two.
That's good. I've ridden. Well, I rode a 23 Husky 350, and that's the most comfortable I've ever been on a motorcycle. I mean, I don't have I don't have a lot of talent and I don't have a lot of feel. I just know that on that bike, I felt like I could do anything I wanted, and the bike would do it. And
is the 23 is that like the newer?
They changed that, and I think it was they changed it for the Husky. They changed it this year for the 24, so it's the older one.
No, the 25 just changed. So the 23.
So am I wrong then? I thought the 24 was new.
They're changing it for it's the factory edition. The 24 and a half is different.
Okay. So all right. Well, either way, that was the one that I was in love with it. I didn't really want to give it back, but I had to.
See, I never rode. I guess I never rode. The last one of those I rode was a 22, which was like the older version of that bike, and I like the feel of the Beta a lot more.
Okay.
It feels a lot more stable, kind of like everywhere to me. One of the things with that bike that I did not like, and I know that certain guys don't like it on the new bike either, is the whoops. Like I never felt like it went through the whoops that good, where like my Beta goes through the whoops really, really good.
Yeah, I can't comment because I don't go through whoops, thankfully. but I have heard that from everybody that was on one. So yeah, that's fair.
They would change the whoops.
I mean, we could line that up.
No, well, you know what?
We could line up some super hot whoops for you.
I mean,
I'm
down. I mean,
you got duct tape?
The Phil Nicoletti will duct tape his hands.
Yeah,
Make sure I'm there with a camera.
As long as ML approves it and it's a project and we film it, I'm down. Let's go.
I mean, you always get hurt when you go do stuff like that anyway. So let's just cut out the middleman.
Our buddy Michael Gage here had like arena cross whoops, and I did blitz those a few times back in 06, 07.
The ones at Steve's are pretty gnarly.
Yeah, but I'm not blitzing those. I'm doubling through those. That doesn't count. But anyway, Benny, what about the engine package? What is, again, a guy like myself, I don't know how much time you spent on the stock bike. I think you did a little bit. How hard hitting is it? Is it pretty, I like a mellow bike. Again, lack of talent, old vet guy. What's the power package like?
Okay, so this is, I'm not going to be able to help you very much.
Okay.
I have actually not ridden
I thought you did.
the stock bike.
Okay, I thought you did.
No.
He was riding the 2-strokes before. Yeah.
That's right.
I was going to ride the stock bike at our track one time on the corner track, but I just never did.
Okay.
So I really have no idea. I believe that it is not like
very different.
I don't really know.
They're probably pretty different.
I would imagine the engine is not very close to my engine. But I don't have a whole lot of
everything I've heard.
That's okay.
More on the mellow side.
No worries. So with just a couple rounds to go and things improve, I feel like you're pretty happy with where you are in your season. 2 to go. 2 to go. at the end, what do you want to see out of yourself for these next two? What are your goals? And then is it a successful season at the end?
I would say it's been a successful season. I am pissed off that we only have 2 to go.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's part of it. It just sucks to get on a good roll once you're towards the end, but it is what it is. But no, I mean, I would consider it a successful season. I would say it's been, especially since Daytona has been really good. It's, I've got 2 top 10s. I'd obviously like to be there more, but like, as far as my riding goes, I couldn't really be much happier, especially this past weekend in wherever we were. I don't even remember where we were. Oh, Philly. It's been a long year. So, yeah. No, but I mean, my riding I felt like was great. I've kind of, like, in the beginning of the season, it wasn't that I was bad, but I definitely wasn't great. I was qualifying around like 20th to 22nd, which is not where I had wanted to be at all.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, this weekend I qualified 8th, and I was in free practice in the first qualifier. I was 5th in both of those. I've kind of found like a new speed that I haven't had in multiple years, I would say, which is obviously super nice. So I mean, I would consider it a successful season. I would really like to be in the top 10 for these last 2 rounds. I've never raced in Denver, so I don't know a whole lot about like how that race is. I've obviously watched it, so it looks dry, kind of like Salt Lake, but
Yep.
I have had a lot of success in Salt Lake in the past, and I always love going there. I feel like I kind of do good on the tracks that are really dry, like how Salt Lake is and how Denver is going to be. So either way, I'm looking forward to it. I think that there's no reason why I can't be in the top 10 for both of those rounds. So yeah, that's kind of my goal. I'm 14th in the championship right now, which is, if you had asked me after Anaheim 2 if I would be there, I probably would have said no, just based off of how we had started the season. I had I'm not going to lie, after like the 3rd round, I was like, man, I might be a 3-digit number next year.
I was a little worried about you myself.
I was thinking, man, do I suck? Like, I just don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but like now it's like, okay, now I feel like a lot better about how everything has gone. So overall, I'm happy with it. There's still a couple more goals that I'd like to reach, and I don't see why I can't do that in these last 2 rounds.
Okay. All right. Benny Bloss brought to you tonight by FXR. Go ahead, Scotty.
It's kind of nice. I don't have to worry about that. I know I suck. So
yeah, I saw that.
I don't have to think about it.
I saw that this weekend.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. I was fat and out of shape. Anyway, Benny. So
like you're pregnant.
The chat was talking when you first came on about a lot of them were mentioning they want to see you do more outdoors. Just kind of talk about what you have planned. I know that maybe it's 3 or 4 races as of now. Is that still the plan, or could anything change?
I mean, no. We kind of talked about it this weekend again. I've pretty much asked the team every single weekend, is there any chance we do any more outdoors? We are only going to do those 3. I believe it's Redbud, Millville, Washougal, which I love all 3 of those tracks. So I'm excited about that. But they had come up with a plan a long time ago of, what the first year would entail, and sticking to the plan. And it is going to be kind of nice. Obviously, we've been going pretty much nonstop since October, and you don't want to burn yourself out. It's going to be nice to get, maybe take a week or 2 off after the season and kind of get into the outdoor swing. And it'll be nice to kind of do almost like a little mini boot camp for outdoors, which I've never got to do because it's always right after Supercross.
Sure.
I am not going to lie. I'm a little bummed not doing all of outdoors. I do kind of consider myself more of an outdoor guy, and I really, really enjoy outdoors. I enjoy the grind and the struggle of the summer motos, but no, I think it'll be fun just to do those 3 and kind of be able to get a little bit of a break after Supercross, and then do those 3 rounds and then get a little bit of break. Not really sure what the plan is on SMX at the moment. I think it kind of just depends on where we end up in the points. I think if I can top 10 all 6 outdoor motos that we do, I'm probably going to be close to the top 20. So we're just going to see. But I do wish that we were going to do more outdoors, but it has been decided. So
okay, yeah,
no
the plan and kind of enjoy myself.
Yeah, and I know this would hypothetically make sense, but there's a lot of red tape, and it would probably never work out. But was there ever any talk about like, hey, like since we can't provide you a bike for the entire outdoors with the SMX points, you know, we would have liked to see you have a better chance than that when we're able to provide a bike for you. Was there ever talk about maybe letting you do your own thing? Did you even want to do that, or was it even a conversation?
Never even had a conversation about it.
I figured.
I wouldn't want to do that, to be honest with you. I have gone down that route before, and it was pretty miserable. So, never really had a conversation about that. Just being on a 2-year deal with Beta is worth it to me to only do the 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And then, not kill myself over the summer and just be grinding and then get a week off after SMX before you get back into the Supercross swing will be nice.
So we'll stick on this topic for just a second. One of the forum questions was on this topic, and you somewhat answered it, but Sam Burns 656 says, with you only doing this few races, how do you keep the momentum going during your 2 months off? And he said lots of testing, vacation time, but yeah, keeping like race momentum is very important. When you don't get gate drops, you do kind of you lose some of your steam, So how do you plan to keep that going? Is it just riding as much as you can?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I've been having like some, I guess for the last 2 years, I've been kind of having a thing with my ankle, and I was kind of debating on whether I should I've got a bunch of metal in it, and so I was talking about maybe getting the metal out, which would really kind of sideline me for like a month. And instead of doing that, I'm just going to take a week or 2 off, maybe go on vacation and like enjoy myself, and then just get right back into the swing of things and do, like I said, like a little mini outdoor boot camp and have some fun. Maybe go to a local race if I'm allowed to. Haven't really talked about that, so I don't know if I'm allowed to, but ride at my house back in Missouri, kind of go back and forth between Missouri and Oklahoma. There's some guys that will be racing outdoors that are riding down here at Robbie's, and they'll obviously be in race pace and whatnot, so I'll be able to ride with them, and that will be nice. Plan on doing a lot of bicycling. I'm going to I think I'm doing a 100-mile gravel bike race the weekend after Salt Lake.
Yuck.
See, they've got a 55 and they've got a 105, and we're going back and forth. I'm doing it with a buddy, and he's like, maybe we just do the 55.
They both sound awful.
Yes, that sounds bad too, but yeah.
54 too many.
So I really enjoy riding my bicycle, especially gravel riding at the moment. So I don't know, maybe get the old Orbea bike out and rip up the gravel, rip up the pavement, and kind of switch it up and not necessarily do just ride motos all the time. And
it'd be fun to compete in something different. Sure.
I mean, maybe rip the 300 2-stroke. I did a lot of riding on it last summer, so might have to break that thing out and do a little riding this summer as well.
Okay. A couple more forum questions and we'll let you go. Boxcar Willie, and you touched on part of this also. As a taller rider, what has been the best modification or most underrated to the bike you do? Tall seat, bars, pegs, or something else? You mentioned the tall seat. I've actually done the same myself. I went to Guts Racing and got the plus 25 millimeter taller seat, harder foam, wider, and it actually has helped me. But you already mentioned the tall seat, so is there anything else?
So tall seat, and then I do have pegs are 5 mil down and 5 mil back.
Okay.
That's pretty much all I do. I will say that I've tried like bar risers and tall bars, and I absolutely hate it. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but anytime I have tried that stuff, especially like bar risers, I might sound dumb, I don't know, but I feel like I have less front end feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel less connected to the front end, and I hate that feeling.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't do that. Maybe other people, I'm not saying don't try it, but I'm not a fan of it. So tall seat, lowered pegs is all I do, and that combo to me has been awesome.
Yeah, I thought about trying the lowered pegs, but then Kiefer told me not to change the pegs, so I generally trust his opinion. Yes, sir.
I mean, maybe try it. Maybe try it.
Yeah. I need to reach out to Works Connection.
Knock it till you try, right?
Yeah, and give it a shot. All right, last one. Sandberm 656 also said, ask you if you was any off chance you would do an MXGP. Maybe go, bang some bars with your teammate Ben Watson. Just don't take him down, or Lewis will kill you.
Lewis only talks to me to get information to be able to send Ben Watson. That's all. Like anytime he wants to interview me, he asks about like bike changes.
Oh, that's funny.
So that he can like pass the word along.
Yeah, because Lewis admittedly doesn't really care about the bike setup stuff, or like it's not his thing. Kind of me either. So that's funny that he asks you that stuff.
Man with the plan.
yeah. Ben's one of his guys. So that's funny. Okay.
I will say though that I would be completely down to go ride some MXGPs.
Yeah.
Honestly, when we first had the negotiations for my contract, like off the bat, one of the things they said were, we're going to do, I want to say it was all 17 Supercrosses. And then I think they said we would do 3 US outdoors and 3 MXGPs. And I was like all in. I'm like, I will go race any 3 GPs you want except Lommel. Don't take me. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So you want to go to any other 3 MXGPs, I'm all in. But
I like it.
Now I don't think that's going to happen. Actually, if it happens, I would be extremely surprised. We've had no talks about it since then. So right. I would say that that's highly unlikely.
All right.
Well, I'm not opposed to it, though.
That's cool, man. It's cool to hear. At least that you're open to it. It'd be something fun, something different. But, it's been really good seeing you figure this thing out. I really hope Colt does as well. I like Colt a lot, and I want to see all the teams triumph, all the new teams, Ducati when they get here, be successful. It's good for the sport.
We'll get all of our fans together, and they'll do what is it called? Protest. Like, we want Benny the GPs.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they're going to care. I'm sure they're going to care. But yeah,
I will say too. Also, like, obviously Colt has been struggling, but this weekend for him was a lot better.
Yeah.
And one thing I do want to say about the team, just so people do know, like, I've been a part of a lot of teams, and I think that this is probably, as far as like everybody's effort, every single person involved with the team has put in like full 100% everything they have into it. And like, for me as a rider, that's really all I can ask for. And, I'm out here working my butt off, and the team is also doing the same. It's extremely, extremely nice to have. So big shout out to the Beatty boys. It's been a good season, but let's finish out strong.
Yeah, I want to see it. I won't be at either of the last 2, but Lewis will be there, and ML will be at some of them. I think he might be at both of the next 2. So I'm sure our guys will come by and say hi to you. But yeah, good luck with these next 2, and thanks for coming on here tonight.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep. Last thing, Niners Nation. Got to go.
Nope.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, you lost, bro.
We'll see you in the Super Bowl again in 20.
Yeah, probably. Honestly.
Yep. So, all right, Betty. Thanks.
Kingdom, so thank you guys.
All right, thanks, buddy. See ya.
Bye.
Betty Bloss, always a good time. Good time. He's a Chiefs fan. For those that may not know, they took my Niners down in the Super Bowl again. It's twice. Bastards. All right, you guys want to get to the Evans Coolant emails?
Let's do it.
It's on the ticker, so let's go.
Yep. Yeah. Was that a pain in the butt since it was out of order? Probably not now, huh?
No, I fixed it. I was actually caught it ahead
Look
of
at
time.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Betty Bloss, Ampro Factory Yamaha, my off-road team, signing that contract soon, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship. Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Evans Coolant emails. Let me pull these up. There are screenshots all throughout. Scotty, you're going to like this one, I think. This comes from PJ Blankmeyer. Let me see if I said that right. PJ Blankmeyer. Yep. Hey, Jamie, too lazy to email you. So he sent me a DM. I said I wouldn't read these, but it was good. Had an idea for questions for the riders on your random questions sections you've been doing. Do the guys run bicycle-style brakes or moto-style brakes on their mountain bikes? I think those will be some fun questions coming up. I might use those as question of the week. And he also wants to know, ask the guys if they use clips or flats. So that's going to be some future questions. I got to scroll through because they are somewhat out of order.
Why was that one I was going to like?
It is the wrong one. It's
that sounds cool.
Yeah, man, I don't know what
scream
happened. They're out
Scotty.
of order. No, there's one.
Like
here it is. All right. Travis Fletcher. Yo, Dark, I've got 3 points I want to make to you. 1, Amber is cute as shit. I'm super happy for you. I know the long distance thing sucks and all, but you're smart. You'll figure it out. Stop reading people's dumbass comments. The dumbest people are always the loudest. Facts.
They're usually pretty funny.
TJ's pretty loud, so agreed.
Not TJ.
2, this is where he gets off the rails a little bit.
All right.
I liked what he said in the first one, but I'm questioning
I think
it
I'm
now.
like this.
Something good about
Scotty is a effing gem. He
Hell
seems
yeah.
so naive and innocent sometimes. you gotta love it.
Yeah.
When he didn't even get the poodle or Great Dane comment, I was like, oh my God, bless his heart. I'm a Scotty fan. He's the type of guy we all need as a friend.
Awesome. Yeah. That could be everybody's little brother, I guess. Yeah.
It's great. 3. This is after the Casey Cochran interview. I've been around Casey Cochran a little bit, and he seems like a really nice kid, but my knowledge of him is, now I got to find, I had to screenshot it in 2 sections. And they're out of order. It's awesome. Awesome. My knowledge of him is limited. When he said he looked back at the city line and the stadium all lit up and looked at his mechanic and said, "We made it," that spoke volumes. It really showed his human side and his appreciation for his position.
Wait, who was he talking about?
Casey Cochran.
Oh, okay.
He said, "I know you felt that too because your response was great. Also, you really get these guys to open up, let their guard down, and show you who they are. I'm a long time MX media consumer and a huge Pulp fan for over a decade, but to me, your interviews are definitely the best. You get a lot out of them in a very short time. I actually started liking several writers that I used to hate after they were on your show." So
it's cool.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Hit the like button.
Yeah. Let me scroll through. I know this is a clunky.
It is funny that you got us pizza tonight, and then there was nothing on. There was no monetary donations.
Oh yeah, thanks to the guys on YouTube that do monetary donations every
pizza
week,
was delicious.
or every so often. Because I did talk to ML. I always joke like, "Well, we don't see that." I talked to ML about allowing me to get dinner before the show for you guys, and he said, "Yeah, no problem." So
I'm glad TJ missed the inaugural pizza party.
We actually had pizza a few weeks ago, but he wasn't here for that either. We did it when Jeremy was here for the first time.
Yeah, Jeremy's first show. What was his first show? But
we're intentionally trying to do it when TJ's not here.
Yeah, TJ's missed it. He wouldn't eat it anyways. He'd probably was like, "Oh, I ate Wendy's on the way here."
Yeah, or he'd be like, "This pizza's too fancy."
Yeah, this pizza's good. What? Well, I don't like it.
This wasn't frozen?
Yeah.
Tim Prouty said some suggestions for some rider general discussion. I would like to hear some stories if there was a time someone forgot something at home and had to buy it at the race, or find someone willing to help. And how do you remember everything you need or have some tips to go racing? So we'll discuss this. This will be a good one.
Okay.
I have forgotten things. Thankfully, when I've forgotten them, they've been like at Steve's house, which is 5 minutes away, and I've just run over here, or it's been something I could borrow. But I kind of go through a mental checklist of like, I look at I like literally look down at my feet and go, boots, socks.
Yeah, I do that too.
And I go, okay, I got it all. And I do that a couple times. And then I walk through my shop over and over and over and look through the drawers where I have everything. So, okay, did I remember everything? But inevitably, I at least forget like chain lube or a tool. The worst is like a helmet. I forgot a helmet once. Yeah, but thankfully it was at Steve's house and I just ran back. So
I literally left my starting blocks at Billadilla this weekend. So
you left them there?
Yeah,
by the tree.
Yeah.
Wow. April said nobody turned them in. So
yeah, they gone. They were.
I remember
anyways,
that one time you forgot your drain plug.
I remember that too.
Jazing, yeah. One time when I was a kid, I was probably like 9 or 10. I forgot my boots and we went to, and it was like one of like those premier practice days or whatever. Like the track was all perfect.
Oh,
and everything.
yeah.
And I left my boots and I got to ride my sister's bike, but I didn't get to ride my bike the whole day. And like everybody was riding, and my dad rode all day. I was at the track, and he's like, "Yeah, you didn't bring your boots. You're not riding your bike." Yeah,
sucks.
So learning that one the hard way.
I think I've left some boots, but I realized it before I got to the track. I think last year JT left a pair of boots. We drove all the way to Three Palms and got there.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. JT's done. I feel like he's forgotten.
I think he does it on purpose sometimes
because he doesn't really want to ride.
It is always something. Whether it's not even like my riding gear or something with my bike. Like if we're going, especially if we're going to like a whole race weekend, like I forget. Like
I'm
some
pretty
food
bad
that I
about
was going to
forgetting
bring.
chairs.
Yeah, you never bring chairs. Never. I always bring a chair. Yeah.
Before I had a shop, everything stayed in my trailer, so it was always there. Go ahead. We got
Sport gave us $20. Said pizza's on me, boys.
Oh, nice. Well, all right, we get pizza.
Hell yeah, Sport.
We get pizza next week.
Yeah.
Then. Thanks, Sport.
Hell yeah.
He's back on the unblocked list.
He's never been on. He's never been close to my block list.
All right, MotoXpod Show, MotoXpod@gmail.com. If you have stories of forgetting gear or something along those lines and how you handled it, Phil Smeltzer. I don't know. I'm sure that's not a real name, but it says Phil Smeltzer. Conspiracy ? Is Joe Shimoda the smartest dirt bike racer? He's slow, then faster, then fastest at the end of the season. So he gets factory rides and saves his body. Less injuries. Is he playing the system in a way? We all love Joe, but maybe?
I mean, you can only play
I don't think so.
You can only play the system for so long.
Yeah.
It is funny that like at the beginning of the year, everybody was like, yeah, this is like the Shimoda realist and all that. And like, and it happened. Like, yeah, now we're into the year and he's riding good. So
it's been like 3 years in a row. Similar trajectory through the season.
Hopefully he can take some of the momentum and carry it outdoors and see what happens.
Yeah, and get in there.
So I'd like to see him do good.
Yeah. Last one is from Cole Mayab. And he says, "Hey, Jamie, I think it would be cool to do a compare contrast. Comparison would probably be a better word, but compare contrast with moto versus off-road. For example, seat time, entry fees, ability to practice, and the overall environment of racing each discipline. Love to hear your thoughts." So I think what would be cool with that is for us to find a way to do a couple, like let's go do a race, a Swan or whatever together, and we write down, we note how much time we were actually on the track, how much practice time we got, how much it cost us, and then go do TCRA.
TCCRA, yeah.
Since that's a local off-road.
How many miles do you think Billadilla was at the track?
We could ask. I don't know.
Mile and a half.
At least a mile and a half.
I think we just do it by time, not distance.
Yeah.
Time will work. But
I
outdoors,
like
probably
the
going to
idea
blow
from
that
Cole
out of the water.
Because when I do a TCCRA, I get like on just the race day alone, you get like 40 miles for like $30, $35. Yeah.
Well, I think let's do that together, and then we have a story to put together for the show.
I like it.
Okay, moving on to the ProX highs and lows. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild when you blow it up to simple maintenance including filters, chains, and sprockets. ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. Find ProX at your local dealer or visit prox-usa.com and search parts for your bike today. ProX highs and lows. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Chase, knock it out.
High, Base Flu get 9th. I think that's his first top 10. He got dropped from Orange Brigade this year and came back on a Suzuki that did the features at the beginning.
Yep. BarX, I believe.
Yep, BarX. And then Lowe's swole. I mean, he was doing great. Would have been Triumph's first podium in a main.
Yep.
And he kind of threw it away. He probably would have made the pass if he would have just waited a little bit.
He needed just a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. You got a low?
He said that.
Oh, that was your low. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Duh. Scotty, go ahead.
I want to say the highs were that I got to ride and race Billadilla this weekend and hang out with you guys.
That's funny.
Actually, that was a low. That was a low.
Yeah, I'm going to scratch that off by low. Sorry.
And then the low was Cooper getting arm pump and not being able to. It looks because when that race started and he got around Eli, 2-3 laps in, I really thought that was like, all right, it's on, let's go. Yeah. And then it just didn't happen. And that was my low. I thought it was going to.
Okay, my highs are racing this weekend at Billadilla in general. Hanging out with you guys is actually on my highs. Gage Linville, his best finish of the season. The kid is coming on. I'm a big fan of his, man. He's
been doing good.
He's been crushing it.
Isn't he from around here? No.
No.
I don't think so.
No. Maybe you're thinking of Michael Dean Gage?
No.
He is.
But Gage is doing really good on a full privateer bike, crushing it. You keep complaining that some of my highs or lows are from what's about to happen.
That would be on the next week's highs and lows.
Well, it might be next week too.
He's excited. Leave him alone.
Right now, it's a high that I'm going to take Hattie, my 14-year-old stepdaughter, to see the Foo Fighters tomorrow night. That's my high.
Fighting some food.
Whether you like it or not, we're going to fight. There is a pretty good chance of rain, and we have lawn seats. So I said, bring a raincoat.
Ooh.
I got some frog dogs if you need them.
I got like a never mind. I have a rain slicker, but it's from a brand that we're not supported by.
Oh, but don't get caught in a picture or something. Get blown
I'm
out.
allowed to wear anything most of the time. But anyway, my low is my lawnmower breaking.
You're so old.
I got
my damn lawnmower busted.
I needed to mow my yard. My lawnmower broke, and I had to haul it somewhere and have it fixed. That sucks.
I got a guy. I got a guy I can send over here.
We're done. Is it TJ?
No.
Oh. Well,
mobile mechanic turned mobile.
But you know what? My high to that is he fixed it in 24 hours for $90.
Oh, that's not bad
TJ
at all.
did?
No.
Oh.
No, this guy locally that some of my friends
TJ
use.
doesn't take payment. He takes like weird favors.
Yeah.
It takes months.
He did something for JT, and JT's payment to him was having to hug me.
Oh, jeez.
Dude,
TJ is the weirdest human.
Did you hit the episode that we did our top 5 ways to die?
Yeah.
TJ got weird, bro. I don't know if you heard
saw
that.
what he said in the chat earlier, where he's trying to get me to ask out his mom as a joke to mess with his mom, which I understand. But I'm just
is that what you were talking about?
Yes.
I didn't know that he was doing.
Yes, like I'm not doing it, TJ. I'm sorry, can't do it.
Strange man, strange human being. All right, you know what? Mother high or my low is because I think this happened after the last show. So I had to take Amber to the airport to leave. Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
That
She was
sucked.
on last show, right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, my dates are all messed up. Yeah, that sucks. She spent 8 days with her. Now she's gone back in California. So that
Can't go make out in the corner now. So
cannot make out in the press box. Can't make out. In the corner. It's a bummer. She literally just sent me a text saying, "I really want to make out with you." Me too, babe. Me too. I got made fun of
that much yet.
If anybody, so people that might have listened to Pulp and Steve brought up like a issue or whatever, like he's been making fun of me for, I don't know how he sees this if he doesn't listen to the show, but how we signed off last week. Because I told Amber, she's sitting here, I said, all right, love you. And then I instantly hit the music and it like didn't register. And they were making, I guess he was showing that clip.
I heard that and I was like, oh, that's gonna.
He was showing
that's gonna get.
I don't
used.
care that anybody heard me say I love you, but
no, I know. I know.
But
what
when
you
you
mean.
listen to, it's literally I love you, and the music starts instantly.
Yeah.
I cracked up when I went back and saw. I was like, I don't understand what's funny about it, because Steve apparently was telling everybody and making fun of me all weekend. Well, I'm not even there to hear it.
When he wanted you to go out with his girl anyways,
I literally just
though.
went back and watched it like right before the show. And I laughed out loud.
It's kind of, it's like
it is pretty cheesy. But
it's like on CSI Miami when the redheaded dude puts his glasses on and the music plays.
For falling in love.
Yeah, y'all were kind of cheesy, but it was entertaining. It was cute.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I love you.
I love you.
Me.
I will we love you.
Me and my fiance the same way. It's okay.
Gross.
Read the EVS Podium Picks. Chase?
EVS Podium Picks. All right. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out EVS-sports.com. Use the code VITALMX30, all caps, to save and gear up like the pros. Hand me that. If you're on YouTube, I am holding one of the new Axis Web Eclipse knee braces. I'm going to get to test these things starting any day now, next time I ride.
Looks like a freaking iRobot.
Dude, they're pretty sick. They look really cool. They look like they're going to be comfortable. I haven't tried it on yet. But this is the new knee brace from EVS, so look for a tested on these knee braces in the near future on VitalMX.com. Also, don't forget VitalMX.com or MotoXpod Show at gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, thoughts on the show, any responses to any of the stupid stuff we say.
Here's
You're
a good,
smiling, so what you
here's
got?
a good one. Raw84 said, who is Dark's best man, Steve or Kiefer?
Heather.
That's a good one.
Yep.
She's going to be her.
No, Amber's going to have her own best friend as
well,
maid of honor.
Heather will be one of them.
Heather will be my best man. She got the job done. Like, marriage is a long way off,
bro. Hey, I'm not. You're the one that said I love you on air, bro. That's. I mean,
that doesn't mean we're getting married. That's a big step, bro.
We're talking about a YouTube chat here, brother.
Yeah, okay, but let's say 10 years from now we decide to get married. Probably grab my son. My son would probably be my best man.
She's gonna be pissed if you wait 10 years.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no shot it takes 10 years.
Anyway, EVS. Damn it! Now EVS-sports.com. Check out these knee braces. Check out VitalMX.com for tested coming up or other tested in the near future. I will be dropping a tested on the Fox race frame chest protector on Thursday. So if you like that stuff, and Lewis has a really good story that just went up about the Ducati situation on VitalMX.com. It's really good. A lot of information. You guys wonder what's going on with Ducati and the background on that. Check out his story. Spent a lot of time on it. It's really, really good. All right, EVS picks for Denver 450 class. I'm going Jet, Chase, Cooper Webb.
Can we also do our LCQ race picks? Because I bought my raffle ticket today.
Sure. I would have to look at the list.
I gotta go see
Yeah,
let's just skip that. Let's skip
Okay.
that. I'm not giving that other guy anymore.
Hey, whether it's him or not, that's a cool thing for the privateers,
cool.
and it really helps them.
100%. Scotty, who are your picks for Denver 450 class?
Well, I guess I'm going to pick Jet because I don't. So wait. So when I pick him, he doesn't win, and when I do pick him, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Jet.
Okay.
Sexton. Tomac.
I
Chase?
think Tomac's going to come out spicy after last year. I think he's going to get it. Chase
Last year he's rode this year.
He got hurt.
Before he got hurt, like at
Dang,
Denver.
you're right. My bad.
All right, so ET's your winner?
Yep. Chase has been doing better. I think he's going to get second.
Okay,
And
yep.
Jet's kind of struggled getting starts in the hardpack tracks. So
Okay.
I think he's going to get third.
All right, so those are our picks. Send your picks to MotoXpod.
What was yours?
Jet, Chase, Cooper.
Okay. I had to say, well, at least one of us picked Cooper in the podium because that means if we didn't, that means he's probably going to win now.
Send your picks to MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. I want to thank Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA for the presentation of the show. I want to thank Guts Racing, FXR, X Brand, ProX, EVS Protection, Troll Training, Evans Coolant, Blood Lubricants, Barnett Clutches.
And y'all check out Chase's Instagram, 710 Designs.
Yep.
You can even look up I'm sure most of y'all probably follow Emig or something like that. I'm sure he posted some pictures that if they did, those were Chase took those. So yeah.
Yep.
Give him some support.
I also want to thank Benny Bloss, Chance Hymas, Scott Plessinger for coming on the show. Thank you two guys for coming in.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next week with a new show. I don't think I have any guests locked in for next week, but working on a couple things. But yeah, other than that, guys, we're out of here. Be back next week.